Good afternoon. Welcome back in once again to the Weather Now Kentucky channel. What in the world is that? Something just popped up on my Facebook. Look, already starting with some weird stuff here. I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with Weather Now Kentucky, and we're going to start our wall-to-wall coverage here a little bit early because I want to break down what's going on and what we expect to change a little bit over the next couple of hours. More specifically for folks in central and western Kentucky. So we're going to break down all of that, let you know what's going on right now on the radar, let you know what we expect to see over the next, let's say, 4 to 5 hours or so. Of course, as you're coming into the broadcast, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, make sure you say hello so me, along with the rest of the chat, can greet you. Of course, as always, tap the share button at the bottom portion of your screen. Get this video out on your news feeds. That way your friends and family can view it. And so that way everyone's getting informed and up to date on what to expect. I think today is probably the best chance to produce severe weather. We've maintained that throughout the last week or so when we've been forecasting this pattern. It feels like it felt like later on in the week, as more of the upper level winds got to our area, the difference between today and, let's say, Monday. On Monday, we really didn't have a lot of upper level flow, and even today we don't have a whole lot, but it's a little bit more. Also, to work with a little bit more today, there's not as much of a cap in place. Realistically, there's really not any cap in place. Even with the storms that are coming in now, it's not really creating that much of, negative energy. So we'll get about 30 seconds and let the folks get in here, and then we'll start going into the data, and then we'll start looking at the radar, kind of explaining what we expect to occur over the next few hours here in the state. There is a severe thunderstorm watch out. If you have not seen that yet, I'll go ahead and display that to you real quickly on the radar here. There is a severe thunderstorm watch out, and I believe that goes till 8 p.m. Eastern time. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. What we're noticing, though, just real quickly, and we'll explain why more over the next few minutes as we do our breakdown, is I think we're looking more at this area as being the area of the main impacts. Once you start getting east of I-65, what I think, two things I think happen. The storm starts running away from the better wind fields. And it also begins to start going into the nighttime. So we're losing a little bit of that heat from the sun. Even if it's cloudy outside, guys, of course, as today is pretty cloudy, you still have heating from the sun above the clouds that you don't see. That's the reason why it feels like, over 100 degrees for most parts in the state right now. If you've walked outside today, it probably feels like a sauna. I have avoided it because I know what it feels like. But I'm just saying, the heat is incredible today, and that's the reason for a lot of these storms. So what's actually occurring right now is an MCS event, and those are pretty spontaneous, just very, very layman terms, are pretty spontaneous low pressures that like to scoot through. That's why you see this kind of shape that we're seeing here. Almost looks like a low pressure. Two things are happening right now as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up this radar because this radar displays it a little bit better. And we're going to go to the main view. It's not as clear. It's a little bit more of a blurry radar, which is why we don't use it a whole lot on the broadcast except to measure the wind fields because it's a little bit better at doing that. But what I'm going to train your eyes to is this little thin line right here. And we made a post about this, I think, maybe an hour and a half ago or something like that. This is a gust front or an outflow. I think the outflow boundary is more so out here, and I'll explain why that's important. But this is a gust front right in front of this. So this leads us to believe, and this is what's happening, this part of the line is weakening, okay? But what's occurring at the same time, the wind fields are so strong out of this. I mean, we've been measuring anywhere between 60 to 80 mile per hour wind, especially when this first got going about an hour and a half ago. The wind fields are so strong in the storm line. What it's doing is it's creating a massive drop in temperatures. So it's almost creating a little cold front, if you will. And Mike and I have been talking about this for the last hour or so in the team chat. But it's almost creating a little bit of a cold front. And as a result, storms are popping out in front of this. The reason that storms popping out in front of this are a little bit more dangerous is because they have a little bit more cold air to work with. You can almost have too much hot air for a storm, right? It can almost overcomplicate things. But when you start mixing in a little bit of a temperature drop, along with the amount of moisture that we have, if you step outside, I don't have to explain it to you, you can just feel the moisture in the atmosphere. And that's almost creating a new line of storms, and I think those will mature over the next 30 minutes or so, which is why I wanted to go ahead and come on the broadcast with you, because one, we're seeing this one in Indiana, right? That one's on its way to becoming a supercell if it can continue to hold together. We're also noticing some popping up down here in western and west central Kentucky. And these have a great chance because there has been no storm activity since 7 to 9 a.m. Even then it wasn't out here. But there's a great chance for these to mature and turn into baby supercells because of the amount of energy we have out there. What I mean by amount of energy, I want to show you real quickly. If you've been on our broadcast the last few days, you're probably getting tired of seeing these charts, but these charts are important. These charts are very important. It looks very confusing right here. Basically, a lot of noodles across the screen here, but Kentucky's over here if you can see it in the gray outline, so train your eye over there. If you look around the region, right, look around the whole site, and then come back to Kentucky right here, you can tell that we have the most CAPE in this part of the country. We have the most energy. Look at that, almost 6,000 joules of CAPE out there in western Kentucky. Now, I don't think western Kentucky is going to see storm activity because the main actual front is all the way up here. So usually storms will form along that boundary and just east of it, not to the west. So that's why we don't think western Kentucky sees anything, which is the reason why. Let me go ahead and pull this up real quickly. Right here, which is the reason why did that come up all the way up there? Why we believe that this is a correct forecast so far. So this is what we made a little bit earlier today. As you can see, we left western Kentucky completely out of it, and then it goes to a 1 out of 5 and a 2 out of 5 and a potential for 3 out of 5, although now it's probably too late to change it, but you could argue that a 3 out of 5 needs to be placed along the river and just south. Mainly because, once again, we're talking about, almost hurricane force winds, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts being the main threat. But also, we've already seen 2 tornado warnings today in Indiana and Illinois. Again, can't guarantee that occurs here, but the energy is there to support a low-end tornado risk. I don't think we're talking about something superb. I don't think we're talking about significant tornadoes. I don't think we're talking about historic winds, but I think you are talking about significant wind gusts, and I think you are talking about the chance for a low-end spin-up tornado, especially in that zone that we marked that could go to 3 out of 5. So places like Louisville to E-Town to Owensboro, and then back out toward Litchfield. I think you're talking about the risk for all modes of severe weather being on the table, because once again, the amount of energy is insane. And if you remember, right, if you were in here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, if you remember, there were also a lot of blue colors to go along with that. So if you look across the map and you see some of these blue colors on here, you're wondering what those are. Those are representations of negative energy or sin or a cap. If you've ever heard that term, a cap over the environment can help to stop storms from forming or keep them tamed. If you look in Kentucky, there's not one spot that has a cap over it or any negative energy at the surface. If I go up to the upper levels and the mid layers, there's also no cap there. So storms should be able to take advantage of any fuel that they would like to take advantage of because there's nothing to stop them, right? We haven't had a storm or rain, in at least 6 hours. For most folks in Kentucky, haven't had storms or rain since last night, right? So there's nothing to really stop the storms from being able to get going. So I think, according to all that analysis that we've done, right there very quickly, and what we've done for the last couple of hours, these cells right here should be able to become more mature and produce a concerning severe threat, once again, for damaging winds and, perhaps the chance of a spin-up tornado. Also, over the next hour or so, we will probably see this entire little line here start to fill in more and more and more. As this line begins to influence it more and more and more, the backside of this second line will begin to fall off, push it up here, push it up here, push it up here, push it up here. And now you're creating a new line of storms that will eventually impact this area. And if you look at our forecast, that's basically the area that we have in the highest risk today. So far the forecast is on par. Everything that we're doing with the mesoanalysis and just currently reading the room of the environment, basically, everything looks to be going, a green line. Whereas Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, every time we kept doing the mesoanalysis, every time we kept doing, current updates, there was always something that made us a bit more hesitant, whether it be negative energy, whether it be the lack of something, whether it be the amount of rainfall, right? If you look at these lines, they're not as wide as what we've seen in the last few days. That's a little bit less rainfall involved, a little bit less chance of them to what we refer to as cold pull. If the storms cold pull and start to cool down, they become massive rain showers instead of severe thunderstorms. I don't see a chance of that just yet. I do see that chance occurring out in eastern Kentucky, which is once again why we started to pull the forecast back to a green zone instead of yellow zone out in eastern Kentucky. You could argue we probably should have pushed that yellow zone back toward Lexington and Somerset a little bit more and left Moorhead in the green and places like that, like Richmond in the green. If you're splitting hairs over colors right now, I probably wouldn't do it. Just overall, the threat is there. It does look probably the most promising threat of the 4-day stretch so far. Before anyone asks, yes, we do have another storm threat tomorrow. I don't think it's as promising. I think we're talking more about a 50-50 shot, and it's mainly only for eastern Kentucky. So some folks will finally start to get that break. And then behind this, we actually get a nice, comfortable pattern. So we get a little reward for what we've been through the last 4 or 5 days here in the state. But currently, severe thunderstorm watch is up from Lexington to Henderson to Bowling Green to Louisville to Florence and everywhere in between. I think, once again, you could probably argue that this side probably does not need to be in the severe thunderstorm watch at this point. And even down here toward Bowling Green and Glasgow, you could probably argue that they don't need to be in the watch either at this point. But again, right now, you're probably splitting hairs. And when you're dealing with these types of systems, I can understand why they put the watch out that wide. Because, once again, as we've seen the last few days, these will pulse down, and then they get a little bit of a favorable spot, and they'll pulse back up, and then they'll pulse back down, and then they'll pulse back just over and over and over again. So there could be a scenario where, it's really severe right here, and then it's dead through here, and then it's really severe through here, and then it's dead through here, so on and so forth. So I understand why they put the watch out that wide. Don't want anyone to think I'm criticizing them. I just think they probably could have waited a little bit longer to add these folks in before making them have to concern about things. But overall, I think that we're looking at mainly this area being the focal point of the severe weather threat from now until 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Whereas this area that I'll draw in, let's say, blue to make it a little bit easier to see, this area, it's a bit more conditional. What I mean by that is it all depends on if the tail of the line, so let's go ahead and use, let's say, white, if this tail continues to grow. I can tell you that it has grown quite a bit over the last, let's say, hour or so. This used to only be, let's use white again. When it was back out here toward Illinois and Indiana, it used to only be about this big. And then it got to this big, and then it got to this big, and then it got, so on and so forth. And of course, now here we are. So signs are there that it is growing. It's just a matter of if it keeps doing it as the new line forms and the old line begins to fall apart. Because once again, the wind fields from this line right now are currently so strong that it's almost pulling these storms apart, shoving its wind field up here to make a little mini cold front, if you will, and forming new storms along this line here. If you can use your imagination to fill in the gaps, almost making a new line here. I'll bet you as we go throughout this broadcast over the next hour or so, these gaps will begin to fill in more and more and more, and that's why there's such a large blanketed area covered in not only our forecast, but the SPC's forecast as well. The SPC's forecast looks like this. I think it's way too big for the slight risk, but once again, I understand why they did that. Basically, the entire state's in a 2 out of 5 risk or slight risk, with an exception of far western, far southern, and far eastern Kentucky. And again, the main threat being the damaging winds, 15 to 29% risk for damaging winds throughout the state today through about 8 to 9 p.m. There is a tornado threat present with these, like we've mentioned. Once again, though, like the last 3 days, it is a really low chance, about 2 to 4%. I do think today, if there is a tornado, it would probably be today, obviously. Once again, obviously, we know hindsight being 2020, we didn't have any real tornadoes last 3 days. It would likely be today if there is one. And again, I don't think the threat is really all that high for it. Charles, hello out of Richmond. Brooke, hello. Robbie, hello. Angel, hello over there on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. Once again, I think we've circled out our area of impact pretty well. I think it's mainly from this area as the main impact area. So once again, if you're outside of this, I would stay tuned and kind of just watch closely, but I wouldn't be all that concerned just yet. But if you're in this white circled area, I would kind of stay a bit more tuned, a bit more present on what to expect. Once again, I think we have this new line that's going to form here and push in through central Kentucky and create a new wind threat as this line begins to fall apart. Haley, I don't think so. It could, but I don't think so. Caitlin, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Again, the timing is anytime between now and about 8 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're all going to ask me about timing, I'm just going to point you to the severe thunderstorm watch and let you know that it goes for another 4 hours and 30 minutes. Because once again, I would love to give you guys, it's just like the last 4 days, really. I would love to give you guys more specific time frames, but this is what so I'm going to put this into motion for you, just kind of let you see this thing, and you'll understand why I cannot give you a specific time frame. So put this in motion. Look how small it was back here to the western part of your screen. Now growing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then look out in front of it now toward Evansville is popping up. And then it's going to pop up toward Owensboro. And then a little one toward Breckenridge and Meade County. Right? So that's why we can't give you exact time frames, because the things and cells can continue to pop in front of this line. So I can give you a time frame, right? But it may be inaccurate because something may pop up in front of it. So that's why we're avoiding any specific timelines. And just let you know that the threat is anywhere between now and about 8 p.m. Eastern time. Tornado threat, once again, is very, very low, just like the last 4 days. Yes, even outside of the severe watch, so for those of you that are in Eastern Kentucky watching and asking, hey, we're not in that watch, but do we still see storm activity tonight? I do think you will still see storm activity. It's just that the threat for severe weather should drop by the time it gets into Eastern Kentucky, because once again, you're running out of the sunlight, you're running away from the wind fields. It's getting later in the night at that point. The conditions just are not as favorable for severe weather. Scott, thank you so much for tuning in on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for all the shares and likes on Facebook. We appreciate that. Our goal is, of course, 100 shares. We still have a long way to go on that, so I would appreciate everyone taps the share button. Thank you so much for your help with that. Again, it gets that information out to folks that may not know what's coming, so thank you for helping us keep everyone informed on YouTube. Welcome to all the new subscribers and all the likes over there. Thank you guys so much. There is a small chance of hail, but once again, the hail threat's not as big either. Really, the main threat, you can kind of see it easily here from the SPC's outlook. The main threat is, once again, damaging winds. That's where you have some of the brighter colors. The tornado threat is, once again, very low at about 2%. Hail threat is extremely low, about 5%, if you will. And then, of course, we do have another risk on Friday for Eastern Kentucky, but we're not going to get into that because we have to focus mainly on today. Again, the time frame is anywhere between now and 8 p.m. Eastern time. Zachary, thank you so much. Megan, I understand. That's why I try to get to as many questions as possible. Wow! Holy cow! The 3,000 stars. You've been working your butt off, and we greatly appreciate it. I appreciate the massive star donation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hey, this is what we've signed up to do. This is what we signed up to do here. Thank you so much for your 3,000 stars. Wow. Loretta, I do believe it starts to weaken by that point. I do believe it. I do believe it starts to weaken by the time it gets toward Lexington. Now, again, you're technically included in that severe watch, so you need to be paying attention. But I do think by the time it gets past I-65, so around here, guys, let me go ahead and draw the line for you. I think once the storms kind of get past, let's say, here-ish, I think they start to weaken. So folks that are on the right side of this line, even though you're included in that severe watch, I don't think you're looking at as much of a severe threat as folks on the left side of the line. But once again, of course, you are included in that severe watch from the SPC, so you need to make sure you're monitoring. Yes, Caitlin, this is a bedroom that we've converted more into a studio, and we'll start doing some more things to it eventually, but we just finished remodeling it If y'all would have seen the room beforehand, you would have been like, "What in the world? This does not look like it." But we started remodeling a little bit ago. We got a little bassinet there for Samuel when he comes lays down in here. That's a day bed. That's what I lay on when I'm watching the radar. When we're not on stream and I need a little bit of a break, I'll put the radar up here on the big TV, and I'll lay in that bed and just kind of watch it. It's a little day bed type of thing that we've kind of converted. And then the closet and stuff over there with all my dress clothes and stuff, so I can be ready to go if anything goes crazy. But yeah, we're gonna put some more soundproof panels up and an actual like recording booth over there and start doing some more things. But I can't sell you everything that's coming down the road. I can only share a few things. Bethany, thank you for your 20 stars. I appreciate that. Mike sent what in the group chat? I already said that, Mike. Mike's late. Mike's late. Mike wants me to tell you guys the low pressure is up here, which we've already mentioned. But just to make Mike feel better, I will say it again for him. I love Mike. Zay, I think these storms start to fall apart by the time they get to Lexington, but once again, you're included in that severe watch, so I would pay attention. You want to see the dew points? I'll show you guys the dew points real quickly. And then for those of you that are just now tuning in, we'll go back through what we already talked about and let you know of anything that you may have missed. But here are your current temperatures out the area. 89 degrees for most folks. Let's go ahead and pull up the dew points for you real quickly. The dew points are resting in the upper 70s, even a low 80 here in Trigg County. For the one asking out of Bowling Green, your dew point is at about a 76.6 degree marker right now. Basically everywhere you go in the state, extremely muggy. Thank you for your 200 stars. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Raining horizontally in Henderson. It's because those lower surface winds, they're just shoving. You're a Sigma? What in the world is that? What in the world is that? I think I'm getting too old. What time will it hit in Elizabethtown? I think the time frame is anywhere between now and 8 p.m. Eastern time, guys. I'm going to just kind of take a little look around the radar here, make sure we haven't missed anything. So once again, as you can kind of see over the last even 20 minutes or so that we've been on here with you guys, I'm going to put this into motion here the last 14 frames and just kind of show you that line is beginning to grow on the front side once again. Go into motion here. Not the, what? I don't want the last 50 frames. I said last 14. But once again, you kind of see that line on the front side begin to grow. That's what we're talking about, folks. When we're talking about this line from the back starting to shove all of its energy and all of its precipitation and all of its wind fields up to the front side, creating almost a mini cold front. That's why you see, let me see if I can pull this back up here for you. Yes, you can already kind of see it pushing into western Kentucky. Look at the difference in the temperature there. So even just 2 counties over, you have 87 degrees in McLean County, but you go up toward Henderson or Union County and Morganfield in Henderson, Kentucky, 72 degrees. So already a 16 to 17 degree drop in a matter of 10 minutes there. We'll see how that temperature continues to drop, but that's what we're talking about, folks, is that back line is almost creating a mini cold front because of how strong the wind gusts are on the front side. It's pushing all that air into, almost acting like a big industrial fan for your atmosphere. It's shoving all that air in front of it, creating a mini cold front. And along that new mini cold front, new storms are forming, and that's going to create a wind and flash flood threat for your afternoon, and even a low wind tornado threat. But again, I don't think the tornado threat is all that immaculate. No, don't run ads. How's the W&K app coming along? Hitting snug after snug, it feels like. Hitting snug after snug, it feels like. They're just so expensive, guys. Trying to make a weather app, even an app in general, but a weather app more specifically, is just so expensive. We have a stars party going. Apparently, we have 50 seconds left to achieve that stars party. What is E-Town, Kentucky looking like? Again, you're under that severe watch till 8 p.m. Eastern time. You may feel the effects of these storms as they come through here in a couple of hours. Again, I want to send a gentle reminder out. If you do know that you live in a small city, for example, the person that said Cox's Creek, if you can give me a bigger city near you, please help me out with that, because again, I cannot, of course, memorize where every single city is at in the state, especially the small ones. For example, I live in Radcliffe. right? So I know that many folks probably never even heard of Radcliffe. So I would say something like Elizabethtown to point toward when it comes to trying to find or trying to get information. It's always a good idea to charge your devices. Ivy with the 20 stars, thank you. Bethany with the 200 stars. Ashley with the 20 stars. Another 100 stars from Aaliyah, hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Shauna with the 50 stars. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. Set up a donation link for donations toward the app. I might. I just hate doing stuff like that. I just hate doing stuff like that. I don't know why. It's just like a personality thing, I guess. Pikeville, Kentucky, I think you're way too far east. You'll see some thunderstorm activity, but I don't think there's any real severe threat. Jordan with the 99 stars, thank you so much. A lot of stars coming in today. Thank you guys. I was looking for Ohio County. Once again, you're in that severe thunderstorm watch, so I would definitely pay attention until 8 p.m. Eastern Time. All modes of severe weather are on the table. All right, guys. I will look into the donation link. You guys are crazy. Can you show us dew points? Again, dew points are mainly in the mid to upper 70s right now for everyone in the state. Ride the lightning, Litchfield here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate that. Yeah, there's a lot of lightning with these once again. Of course, with these very high temperatures, we're talking about a lot of heat energy out there. Talking about a lot of lightning. Braden with the 99 stars, thank you so much. Could Somerset be added to the severe thunderstorm watch? You know, what? My rule of thumb is if you're ever on the edge of a severe thunderstorm watch like this, you should always feel or assume that you're going to be in that watch. But I don't think that this extends any more east. I really don't. Katie with the 200 stars, thank you so much. Ivy with the 20 stars says, thank you everyone for your support for WNK from the mod. Ivy, thank you so much. Muhlenberg County, Central City, Kentucky. See, I love that. She gave me 2 areas of location to look at. Thankfully, I already know where that is, I think. Yes, over here. Oh, my goodness. But yes, you are in that severe thunderstorm watch, and you also have some activity just to the west of you. If any of this matures, it could produce a severe threat. So definitely make sure you're paying attention. What's the difference between a brief spin-up tornado and a regular tornado? Sometimes they say tornado threat, and sometimes they say a brief spin-up. And kind of what it sounds like on the surface. When you're talking about a tornado threat, you're talking about any tornado that can come. I know it may be different for different folks that are saying it, but for me, when I say brief spin-up tornado, I mean a very brief lasting tornado, less than 10 minutes or so. Also probably on the weaker side. I mean, even some of your brief spin-ups could get quite strong really quickly. But for me anyway, when I talk about a brief spin-up, I'm talking about a tornado that just doesn't last very long. Ashley with the 20 stars. Katie with the 20 stars. Thank you guys so much. Lewis, thank you for sharing the broadcast. I appreciate your help getting our information out to as many folks as possible. Thank you for all the shares on the video. I appreciate you all. I have a friend with tickets to baseball in downtown Louisville. I'm sorry if you've already covered timelines, but what time could you estimate for downtown Louisville? I think anytime between now and 8 p.m. Eastern time. So depending upon what time that baseball game is, I probably wouldn't go. It's probably going to be rained out anyway, just because of the amount of rainfall. Especially if it's, if you're talking about the Louisville Bats, I think that's what you're probably talking about. They're probably raining out anyway. 1, because the team is bad. Probably don't want to play the game. And 2, because of the amount of rainfall they've seen the last couple of days on top of this. Probably a pretty wet field up there if I had to guess. As the crow flies, Cox's Creek is not 15 miles from you. What in the world? Well, like right here? Oh, it's right there. See how far I have to zoom in order for that to populate, though? That's why I have no idea where that's at. So, again, you would kind of just take the same analysis that we've been given for Radcliffe and Elizabethtown at that point. Then, under that severe watch till 8 p.m. Eastern time, all modes on the table, so make sure you're paying attention. Yes, it will, Sarah. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning out now. Let's go ahead and read that bulletin there for you. It is for Daviess County, Henderson County, Muhlenberg County, McLean County, Hopkins County, Union County, and Webster County, all in northwestern Kentucky. I'm not sure. Wait, what? Why does that say South Central? That's not South Central in my eyeballs. But anyway, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts being the main threat there. Locations impacted include Owensboro, Henderson, Newburgh, Indiana, Calhoun, Sabree, Livermore, Whitesville, Robards, whatever you want to call that, Knoxville, St. Joseph, Masonville, Stanley, Eureka, Beech Grove, Island, Mosleyville, and Hebbardsville. Those are the locations under the impact of the 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Let's go over here to radar scope and take a look at it and see what we have going on out here. I see a TDS signature there, but or a TVS, I should say. I could see that. I could see that. Definitely a good warning out there. We do have a 68-mile-per-hour wind gust being recorded just to the south of Newburgh, just to the east of Henderson, Kentucky. We do have some more wind gusts starting to be recorded now up here. What I want to notice here, or what I'm noticing here, is that gust front. I'm not sure if Mike is still in here, but that gust front has gone almost bye-bye. So what that's telling us now, the weakening transition of the storm is now over. I do think that over the next hour, we will start to begin to see this thing really ramp up once again, producing that 60 to 75 mile per hour wind gust threat once again, as well as the spin up tornado threat coming back as well. So once again, we are measuring some nice wind gust out here. I believe we saw a 68 mile per hour gust over here. 64, 65-ish. There's that 68 that we saw. So good rule of thumb here, if you see the yellows popping up on this side of the screen, usually that's 60 mile per hour or plus. So when you start seeing those deep oranges begin to pop up, those are 70 mile per hour plus. So good thing to know for you folks that are viewing. So once again, severe thunderstorm warning is active. Basically from Owensboro to Calhoun to Sabri to Henderson to Newburgh, Indiana. And then another severe warning over here. This one is for quarter-size hail, and it is also for 60-mile-per-hour winds, and that is from Cannelton to Lewisport, over there on the very northern edge of Kentucky. So these storms are starting to get their act together once again. I think we'll start to see, and actually I can already show you, we're starting to see these two lines catch each other. So these will begin to merge, and as they undergo cell mergers, could potentially get stronger. So every sign is pointing toward these being a severe threat over the next few hours for central Kentucky. Casey with the 50 stars, thank you so much for your star donations. Says, our coach football practice and starts at 6 p.m. We are south of Litchfield. Should be concerned about being on the field from 6 to 7:30. I absolutely would be, because once again, even if you don't see actual storm activity, right, look at the amount of lightning that's around the area. Dealing with kids at that point, I wouldn't do that. Still 5 to 8 p.m. time frame? I think so. I mean, anywhere between now and 8 p.m. Eastern time. These are moving at about a southeast direction here. You can always tell by looking at the boxes that are put out by the NWS. That's the easiest way to look here. So if you see the box here, I know it's kind of hard to see because the watch is on in the background. But if you see the kind of box, the storms are starting here, they're ending here. You make that arrow right there, that's how they're heading. So mainly an east-southeast, if you will. We have a tornado to the north. I don't see any type of rotation on the radar. I'm not going to rule it out, but I don't have any confirmation of it from an official source, and I also don't see anything on the radar. But I do see some higher wind gusts occurring out there in Newburgh, Indiana. Mike, if you're still in here, yes, I agree with you for the message that you just sent. Trailum's coming down pretty easily on the west side of Newburgh. I did measure 68 mile per hour out there, Mike. Lexington, once again, I think any time between now and 8 p.m. Eastern time, you're under a severe threat, but I do think it starts to weaken by the time it gets to you. Thank you guys for all of your star donations, all of your shares, and all your likes. Thank you very much. Clarksville, what should are you talking about Clarksville, Tennessee? If that's the case, I don't think you're expecting anything today. Jenna, I do think E-Town is under a severe threat until 8 p.m. Eastern time, with damaging wind gusts being the main threat, as well as Edmonson County. Marion asking about that. I think you're under severe threat until 8 p.m. Eastern time as well. Well, this weekend, by the time it gets to Glasgow, I think you're right on the line of where it begins to start weakening. But definitely, want to pay attention, because I think you're going to see some storm activity, because this will track down toward your location in about a couple of hours. Bowling Green, what I just said for Glasgow applies to you as well. I think you're under severe threat until 8 p.m. Eastern time. What time for LaRue County? Anytime between now and 8 p.m. Eastern time. Same thing for Scottsville. I think you're under severe threat until 8 p.m. Eastern time. Main hazard once again being damaging wind gusts. Same thing for Fort Knox, Molly. Same thing for Hodgeville, Joshua. Going to be very similar answers because you're all asking from the same general location. I think you're asking from here, 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 here. So that's why you're hearing some of the same answers right now because you're all kind of asking from the severe watch area. Mary, thank you so much. All right, let's go back to radar scope and do some measuring here. Once again, still seeing those 55 to 65 mile per hour gusts along the line, especially from Hatfield, Indiana, down toward, let's say, Sabree, Kentucky. So Owensboro heads up, some strong wind gusts coming to your location within the next 5 to 10 minutes, really. For you folks in Owensboro, Masonville, be on the heads up. You do have some strong wind gusts, severe wind gusts coming to your location in about 5 minutes. I don't think the tornado threat is very hot at all today, Caitlin. Tim, I think you're under that threat for severe weather of damaging wind gusts being the main risk until 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Mary, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Willie says we need the rain. Depending upon where you're at, you need the rain. Depending upon where you're at, you also need to stop the rain because your flash flood threat level is increasing. We've had a lot of rain in some portions of the state throughout the last couple of days. Yeah, Mike, if you're still in here, I think that's where the tail is going to start being able to create over the next 30 minutes or so. Why does YouTube keep trying to run ads? Stop it. How do I turn that off? Does anyone know? I'm not as versed on YouTube as I am with Facebook. I'm so tired of YouTube trying to run ads. I'm not trying to make money here. Oh my goodness. Caitlin, I do think so. Lots of rain involved with these. I'll show you this right here. Let me go ahead and pull this up for you, kind of see for yourself. Here we go. Yeah, look at the amount of this is the amount of precipitable water. So basically, the amount of water in the atmosphere that can be transformed into raindrops. And as you can see, 2.2 is existing over western Indiana and eastern Illinois in that northwestern portion of the state. And then a high two on the other side of the state in portions of Kentucky. I think that goes east along with the storms tonight, and that is, I know you guys might not know this, but that is extremely high amount of precipitable water. So this will be very heavy, very big raindrops. Elizabeth, thank you so much. I appreciate that. How fast are they moving? I believe last I checked, they were moving at about a speed of 40 mile per hour. Easiest way to check is to read the bulletin here. Yes, 45 mile per hour still once again. It's about 40 to 45 mile per hour. Litchfield around 4. You're talking about 4 Eastern time? Or you're talking about Litchfield being 4 probably Central time at that point. So about an hour from now, I would be kind of concerned at that point because I think that these cells will probably be in Litchfield at that point. By the way, I just want to say a real quick thank you to everyone that's tuned in over the last 4 days. I know it's been kind of a long, random stretch. Usually we don't see this kind of stuff in the summertime. We'll see thunderstorm activity from time to time, but usually we don't see stretches like this. So thank you guys so much for trusting us and all the followers and stuff that we've gained over the last few days. It's been, once again, another astonishing stretch here for the pages, across Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. Just want to let you guys know that. Another long day once again. Might need to make some coffee soon. I'm already getting tired. I'm already getting tired. It's funny. It's really funny though because I was complaining, like last week or not last week, probably about 10 days ago to my friends. I was like, man, I might have to pick up a side job or something. Not because of the money or anything. We're fine, but I was bored. I was flat out bored. There was nothing to really monitor. We were stuck in. Remember, guys, we were stuck in that very just kind of mellow pattern. High 80s for each day, low 60s for the lows. Nothing going on. I'm like, man, I'm out of my rhythm here because I'm used to having to come back here. In the office here and just kind of stay here for a while each day, just doing analysis either for that day or the next day or for anything coming up. And then there was nothing for like a 3-week stretch there besides the little remnants from hurricane that came through. But really, there was not a whole lot to track. And I just think it's so funny now. We went from absolutely nothing to 4 days being in a level 2 out of 5 risk or higher. So it's just been a whirlwind. Wind blowing really bad in Owensboro. And that storm was probably there by now. We gave that heads up about 5 minutes ago. Owensboro, you probably got another 5 minutes till you actually see the real big wind gust coming through. 60-mile-per-hour winds being the threat there. Really mad at Grace. That's really unfortunate. Again, time frames, guys, are anytime between now and 8 p.m. Eastern time, no matter where you're at in the state. You're not kidding. Be careful what you wish for. You're not kidding. Yes, I do think Bowling Green will see some storm activity tonight, probably in a couple of hours. I'm going to go through on radar scope once again and just kind of measure around. We're seeing those winds tick up once again, so Owensboro will be on the heads up. I'm reading a 70-mile-per-hour gust coming toward that location. Probably got about 5 minutes. Owensboro, make sure all of your stuff is secure outside. If not, it's going to be too late here very soon to do so. You got about 5 minutes till it gets into your location. Looking down here more to the south, I want to switch radars and just kind of look at this tail end down here. I am seeing some very broad rotation towards Herbig. This is not anything significant, but this could be a sign of this part of the storm line, this tail that we've been talking about, starting to get a little bit stronger down there in western Kentucky. Let's go ahead and go back up here to the Evansville radar. Once again, I want to give Owensboro another heads up because it looks like the entire city of Owensboro has had a chance here in about less than 5 minutes to see wind gusts of over 65 mile per hour. Those are damaging wind gusts. Uh, Seabury, Seabury. I can never remember. So many pronunciations. I do want to show you guys this. Mike just pointed this out to me. A new discussion is coming out now. Damaging gusts of 50 to 65 mile per hour remain possible as convection moves across southern Indiana and central Kentucky. So pretty much what we've already outlined in almost the exact same image. So if you look at this, this is the circle that we drew earlier as the main impact areas, right? Just like that. And if you look at the image coming out now from the SPC, it's almost the exact same image there. So pretty good agreement between us and the National Weather Service and Storm Prediction Center on the impact areas of the focal point over the next 2 to 3 hours here in the state. Yeah. I don't know. Do y'all want to see Samuel? Do y'all want to see Samuel? Let's see what the folks say. We have a brief moment here. I just want to give a real quick another heads up. Owensboro, in about less than 2 to 3 minutes, you have a strong wind gust coming to your location, capable of up to 65 mile per hour. Love that your shirt matches the warning area. I didn't realize I did that. Maybe that was like subliminal thinking there. But once again, Owensboro to Masonville, heads up, 65 mile per hour wind gust coming into your location. All right. What the? What are you doing in here? Daddy's working. Daddy's working. What you doing? You think they want to see you, boy? You think they want to see you? Why does my camera look so red? Does it look like that on the broadcast as well? Let's do that. There we go.
This is kind of like severe.
Okay, we can take 30 seconds. Right, guys, we can take 30 seconds. Look at his shirt that he has on. You all made such a beautiful baby. Thank you so much. He is gorgeous. Look how big he is, though. He turned 2 months old a few days ago. The storm baby. He is the storm baby. If you guys remember, he was born the day after one of the more significant severe days in the state. Back on May 26th. He was born on May 27th.
He's got my cheeks.
See ya. Slay. All right. Gotta get back to it. Make sure these folks get a good heads up. We'll bring it back on here a little bit. Everyone say goodbye to Samuel for now.
That's my twin right there. Okay.
Okay.
Say we love you, Daddy.
I love you guys too. That's the perks from working from home, guys. You can just see your kids whenever you want. All right. Back to business here. He is a mama mini me, and yes, she is glowing. He's adorable. Thank you guys for all your kind comments. We all love Samuel. Oh my goodness. Looks like Dad with the same haircut. Really, Charles? Now we're back to the hairline stuff, guys. I know my hairline's gone, man. Dang. Dang. Okay, once again, Owensboro, you do have some significant wind gusts coming into your location. It looks like we're going to measure this once again, but this looks like it's going to be right around 70 mile per hour. Yes, 73 mile per hour wind gust being measured right there. Just to the northwest of Owensboro, so northwest of the metro city or the metro port of Owensboro, 70 mile per hour, 74 mile per hour, 73. So once again, Owensboro, 65 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts are about to be in your location any minute. Jordan, impossible to say. Just wind gusts are possible up to 70 mile per hour. We don't help this. This is my favorite comment of the month here. We do not help the hairline with the same questions that we ask every 4 seconds. Dude, that's you with no hair. Yeah, pretty much, pretty much. A baby viewing break every half hour. If he's awake, I'll bring him in here in a little bit again. All right. Pro Rancher, thank you for the $5 donation on YouTube. I appreciate that. We don't get very many donations on YouTube. Thank you so much. Says college fund donation or at least a box of Pop Tarts. Thank you so much. Here in about a year or so, it probably won't even be enough for Pop Tarts anymore. My goodness. That's a discussion for a different day. I probably shouldn't have said that. But anyway, Owensboro, a significantly strong thunderstorm is coming to your location. It's actually entering right now. Owensboro, we're still measuring low 70s on the wind gust. That is damaging wind, so make sure that you're inside, off the roadways if you can be. Owensboro, once again, this storm is now approaching Highway 2831, Highway 2155, US 60 out there. Watch out if you are traveling. Pull off to the side of the road. He likes looking at the colors on the map. He does. Campbellsville. Okay, once again, we'll go through all the forecast stuff here in a moment. Let's focus a little bit in on Owensboro. A major city is about to be hit by 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. So let's focus a little bit on the Owensboro area, and then we'll come back out and answer the same questions again. Owensboro, Highway 2831, Highway 81. If you're traveling along that, pull off to the side of the road. US 60, Highway 2121 as well. This is entering Rome, entering central Owensboro as well, going up to Pueblo, Indiana. Interstate 165, you need to be on, getting off of the exit ramps if you can. If you're traveling along I-165 and you hear my voice and you're up toward Owensboro area, find your nearest exit or pull off the side of the road. Do not get under an overpass. Please. I don't know why the Twisters movie keeps showing that. People keep thinking that. That is not a safe place to be. You're just asking for a tunnel of wind to smack you. Rome, the city of Rome there, Petite or Petit, whatever you want to call that. I don't know. I probably said that completely wrong. Mosleyville, Highway 81. Once again, this strong, severe storm is approaching your location. Let's go ahead and measure the wind fields once again here. We have a new scan coming in, and we're still seeing 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts, almost an 80 mile per hour gust being recorded now just to the northwest of Owensboro's most central population there. Looks like the highest wind gust right now is on the northern side of Owensboro. Southern side of Owensboro, though, you're still probably seeing 60 mile per hour wind gust throughout that location. So make sure that you are inside and off the roads if you can. Esmeralda, you're all the way down in Florida now. Again, Amy, anytime between now and 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Simpsonville, anytime between now and 8 p.m. Eastern Time, wind gusts being the main threat. Tornado risk is low, but where should we watch for the greatest risk? We've drawn it out a couple times, but I'll draw it out one more time for you guys. I think the greatest risk, once again, remains in this area. So basically, from along I-65 to points west, and then back down here to where points have, or the storms have not moved into yet. So basically from Bardstown to Mount Washington to Louisville, back down to Litchfield, going to Central City, maybe even including Greenville, Madisonville, toward Owensboro, Tell City, Indiana, for places in northwest and north central Kentucky. I think that's the main impact zone for now. This can shift east later on tonight as the storms move east, but we have to wait to see how the storms will react once they get past around the I-65 line, when they start running away from the better wind fields and they start getting into more of the late night time frame. So a little bit unclear on outside of that zone. Thunderstown's eerie. Look, I mean, just look at the amount of lightning that you're seeing. Even right now, still toward Newburgh, Indiana, you're still seeing, hundreds of lightning strikes that are, or dozens, I should say, of lightning strikes that are just to your south. Let's go ahead and measure the wind gust once again. We should have a new scan coming in. We do. Owensboro, the entire city is just blanketed with wind gust right now. I am seeing a strong wind gust right here, 95.1 mile per hour. The radar's probably overdoing that a little bit. But if you look all around, 72, 73, 73, 69, 69, 68. So solid 70 mile per hour wind gust ongoing around there. Now, again, the radar is trying to display a 95 mile per hour wind gust just to the northeast of Owensboro. Probably a little bit overdone by the radar there. Sometimes radars can overdo it a little bit. But if you look all around, generally a solid 70 mile per hour circle of winds there all around Owensboro, Kentucky right now. I want to take a look around, just make sure we're not seeing any rotation or anything anywhere. I want to probably switch radars here to, let's go ahead and just take a look around. Not seeing a whole lot. Probably should leave this on the Evansville radar for now. I think in about 15 minutes we'll switch over to the Louisville radar. Caitlin, yes, storms can fire once again, but I don't think so. I'll just say they can fire again, but I don't think they will because I think the atmosphere will probably be pretty worked over after this. Look at the temperature drops that are starting to come in now as a result of the line. So, for example, if you look just 50 miles to the south in Ohio County, 88 degrees, the temperature there. If you look up to where the storms just left within the last 10 minutes in Henderson, Kentucky, 69 degrees there. So that's a difference of almost 20 degrees. That's how strong these storms are. They're shoving rain. They're shoving wind gusts. They're making almost mini cold fronts in their path right in front of them. I'm not really sure why this severe warning has not been upgraded to a destructive warning, or to a considerable warning, I should say, because we've been readily scanning for 70 mile per hour winds over the last 10 minutes in Owensboro. This warning should have been upgraded. Jonah, it depends on where you are. There's so many things that go into it. I probably have to make like a separate YouTube video to describe the way you can get tornadoes and what you look for when you're forecasting them. I can just tell you real briefly, when you're forecasting for tornadoes, you need a lot of things. You need humidity. You need lift to occur. You need a cold front and coming into a warm boundary. You also need dry air at one layer of the atmosphere while you have moisture at another layer of the atmosphere. You also need winds that are going in different directions at different layers of the atmosphere as well. You also need a bunch of wind shear to occur. So there's a lot of things, even more than what I just mentioned right there. Probably have to make a whole separate YouTube video on it. But you just need so many things. I don't think a lot of people understand how many things you need to go, I guess, wrong or right, depending upon how you want to describe it, for tornadoes to occur. Crystal, I think you might have some time to mow, depending on how big your yard is there, if he gets on it now, of course. Again, the main focus right now is in Owensboro, Kentucky, where damaging winds are ongoing. Winchester, thank you so much for that update. I kind of want to check and see. Okay, don't see any correlation drops. Nice little hell core maybe being developed over Hardinsburg, Kentucky. Hardinsburg, you might have these two cells to get together and develop a nice little hell core, actually. Kind of, out of left field there. But I'm seeing some real nice spikes here on the digital vertically integrated liquid. That's a mouthful. But that's kind of how we use to measure liquid that might be vertically integrated into something else, aka a hell core. All right, Mike, got you. See what he's talking about now. Yeah, there is a little bit of rotation on this cell in Hartford, Kentucky. Now, I don't think this is surface rotation. I think this is elevated rotation at the moment. But we're going to keep an eye on this one pretty briefly. This will be tracking more toward the Caneyville and Litchfield area. So I want to put Caneyville and Litchfield on a little bit of an alert, just to be on the lookout for this cell that might be coming through here as it ingests this southern cell. So as this goes into this, it might create one very strong rotating cell that comes through here. Again, rotating cells don't always indicate tornadoes. They can indicate a lot of things: hail, tornadoes, a downburst of winds. But just be on the lookout for perhaps a severe cell heading your location, Litchfield, within probably about 30 minutes. Let's go ahead and check back in on Owensboro once again here. Let's go switch back up to the Evansville radar. Measure once again. Still seeing a solid swath of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds occurring in Owensboro, now moving out to the east. So next up after Owensboro, seeing these winds would be Knoxville, Kentucky. Knoxville to Yelvington to Gatewood. Those portions of the northern portion of the state would be able to see that next. I want to let you know that if you are in anywhere between Hardinsburg to Brandenburg, Radcliffe, Elizabethtown, even up toward Louisville, going toward Litchfield, Caneyville, Hartford, Morgantown, Greenville, Central City. Basically, let me go ahead and draw a little circle here. Basically, if you are here, just a heads up, within the next hour, this line is going to be in your location and probably will strengthen by the time it gets to producing 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. Once again, I think this is the threat today that has the most potential out of the last 4 days. Everything so far is unfortunately sort of what we refer to as a green light for storms to go. Once again, it's just not making much of a cap behind it either. So here's the storms, right? They're entering western Kentucky. So this is a little bit behind, of course. But here's what the storms were earlier. That's not a very large cap that's in place. So storms may be able to fire once again on the backside of this if an outflow boundary can be formed. So I want to just mention that. Now, they probably would not be severe at that point because we're talking about later on tonight. But we may have multiple rounds of storms today. New update just came out from the SPC. Let's go ahead and look at that. No real changes here. They've only just trimmed off the backside where the storms have already gone to. So no real changes. It looks like they lifted it a little bit more into Kentucky, taking southern Kentucky out a little bit more. But no real changes. Tornado threat has not increased. Wind threat has not increased. Basically stay the same. Everything's pretty much staying the same. Yep, still measuring 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. That will be once again entering the Knoxville and Habit and Grandview area within the next 5 to 10 minutes for you folks out there. Even on the southern side toward Masonville, you're about to get in on some nice wind gusts down there if you haven't already felt those. So Whitesville, be on the heads up as well. The southern side of this box, I don't really see as much winds with it, or as strong of a wind gust as I should say. But it's still warned all the way down there, so we have to keep an eye on it. What about Sonora? Under that watch till 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You need to be paying attention because these will track your location in about an hour and a half or so. I can't guarantee it, Whitney. I would just say they're at a risk. But you can't guarantee a wind gust to happen before it occurs, but I would say the risk is there. Again, still measuring over 60 mile per hour winds. Let's go ahead and do this once again here. 74 mile per hour winds now entering Knoxville, Kentucky. Still in Owensboro, we're still measuring 76 mile per hour winds there. I don't think that's probably very accurate. That's probably closer to the 65 marker at this point. But still some nice wind gusts going on in Owensboro, exiting that area. What in the world is sunfish? Someone says sunfish right under Litchfield, but I'm not seeing it. Let me zoom in a little bit more, I guess. I'm not seeing a sunfish. That must be a very, very, very small little town or something. I'm not, unless, am I blind? Do you guys see sunfish? I see your message, Mike, but I don't see it. Sunfish is near Shrewsbury. I see Shrewsbury, but I still don't see sunfish. There it is. Oh my gosh, look how far I have to zoom in to get to that. Holy. Holy. Yes, yes, you will feel the impacts of these cells down here. Caitlin, I can just say anytime between now and 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you, Ricky, for that update. I appreciate that. There's a search bar on Radar Omega? Where? Are you kidding me? Wait. Wait. Okay, I never knew that. Okay, we learned something new today. Wow. No, you're okay, Jocelyn. Wow, why did I never know this about? Maybe it's because I don't use Radar Omega all that much. I usually use WSV3. Helps out a lot. You're not kidding. It helps out a lot. Are you kidding me? Now I'm gonna have everyone tell me every single small back road in Kentucky to type in here. You just got me in trouble, probably. Stretch down to the Franklin area. It's gonna be really close. It's gonna be really close. You might get, if these cells hold together here, you'll probably see those, but it's gonna be very, very close. Wow, Mike. Based off the radio, do you think the rotating cell is more of a health threat? Bailey, I think it's more of a downburst of wind threat. Again, still measuring. Wow, we're still measuring 70-mile-per-hour winds out here, guys. I'm still measuring 70-mile-per-hour winds just to the north of Whitesville, Kentucky, just to the east of Owensboro. Can I please get off that? Thank you. Over here, still measuring 70-mile-per-hour winds ongoing out here. I don't know why this warning is still for 60-mile-per-hour winds. We've been measuring 70-mile-per-hour winds for the last 15 minutes. Again, guys, if you guys need forecast information at this point, I would just recommend that you look at our page. We have videos and posts everywhere letting you know what to expect. I will just say this, just very blanket. If you are in the severe watch, you need to be watching until 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're not, I probably would not be all that concerned. I do agree with their watch pretty generally. Again, I think you could probably exit out a lot of this on the outskirts here. But if you are in the pink or red, you need to stick around and stay tuned. If you're not, go enjoy your day, pretty much. I don't think you're probably going to see very much activity. Now, that said, folks out in Somerset, London, Corbin, out here in Eastern Kentucky on the eastern edge of this, you will still see storms. They just probably will not be severe. New severe thunderstorm warning has just gone up here for Central City to Greenville to Madisonville to Arlington, Kentucky. Let's go ahead and read the bulletin there. From Muhlenberg, Northeastern Christian, McLean, Hopkins, East Central Webster County in western Kentucky until 4 p.m. Central Time. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts being the main threat there. Madisonville, Central City, Arlington, Nortonville, Morton's Gap, Powderly, Graham, Greenville, Weir, Dunmore, White Plains, Hanson, Drakesboro, Sacramento Island, St. Charles, Slaughters, Bremen, and South Carrollton. Those are the cities that will be impacted by this severe warning. And again, that warning is for 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. This line is starting to get messy. Starting to get messy. Okay, Okay, before this thing strengthens again, I'm going to run to the bathroom real quickly. I know Mike is watching, Ivy's in here as well, so they can take care of you guys. Take me like 2 minutes, really. Someone time me. All right, I'm back. 1001. Did I make under 2 minutes? Sorry, watching my hands always takes longer than I expect. Okay. Still looking at. Oh my goodness. Mike, is your radar showing the same thing mine has been showing, or is my radar just like completely wrong? Because I have been seeing 70-mile-per-hour winds since Owensboro, and the warning is still the same for 60-mile-per-hour winds. I'm gonna switch radars real quickly and check on the southwestern Kentucky portion of the area real quickly. This line will reach BG at some point, but it will be a little bit, probably about an hour and a half, minute and a half. There we go. There we go. Okay, that could be. Maybe we'll switch to the Louisville radar and start watching off of this. If that's the case, then we have some rotation down here that probably needs to be warned. This is probably a downburst starting to occur near Beaver Dam going to Caneyville. So probably 60-mile-per-hour winds about to occur just to the east of Hartford, Kentucky. Yeah, I just would not look at the radar on any weather app. They're always so bad. They are always so bad. I would never bank on something like that, honestly. That's not even like an ego thing. They're just proven to be so bad. 62 mile per hour, 57, 57, 55, 55. So it looks like about 60-mile-per-hour winds still ongoing to the east of Owensboro. That will head toward Hardinsburg and Cloverport here next. Still kind of just watching this rotation down here. It's not doing a whole lot yet, but let's go ahead and pull up the 4 panel here. Let's circle the area of rotation up here and just kind of take a look here. Yeah, it looks like some elevated rotation probably leading to a downburst of winds. Probably hearing some really gusty winds out there in Hartford, Kentucky, exiting Beaver Dam. Might have some more going on up here. A little rotation on the backside over here. Once again, it's a little bit displaced from the front side of the line, so probably not indicative of a tornado, but does indicate a nice downburst of winds for western Kentucky. So for places like Madisonville, Hanson, Sacramento, Kentucky, Earlington, Nortonville, Graham, Greenville, basically where that warning already is, definitely some nice wind gusts going on up there. And definitely a nice little downburst on going. You can also tell here by just looking at the amount of lightning that's also going on with this storm. This is a strengthening thunderstorm here, exiting the Hartford area. So once again, just want to put Litchfield and Caneyville on alert. This part of the line is starting to strengthen down here. Again, this is kind of where the tail of the line is. So this makes sense, scientifically. Usually the bottom part of this line it usually gets stronger as it heads east. So that does make sense as to why that would be getting stronger over there. Nice downburst of winds occurring down there. Let's go ahead and pull up the velocity once again. Owensboro is still seeing 55 to maybe 63-ish mile per hour winds just to the east of you. Let's go ahead and look up here toward Cloverport, Irvington. Still seeing some nice wind gusts ongoing up there. Probably need a new warning out there for those locations. 53, 55, pretty close. Probably a special weather statement if we click over to the others, and it is a special weather statement. So, again, 55 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts ongoing right now. Rebecca, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. No, I didn't see any rotation down there from Muhlenberg County. Wait a second. No, that's Ohio County. So yeah, no. I didn't see any rotation down there from Muhlenberg County, but I did see some nice wind gust ongoing. Peace-Size Tail in Madisonville, thank you for that update there. We appreciate you. Corey, thank you for that update there from Litchfield. Why is the line oddly close to Warren County? Are you talking about the severe thunderstorm watch line or the storm line? What about Morganfield? Do you see any rotation? No, and already the storm line of main energy is already past you, so this is probably just a weak thunderstorm with some nice loud thunder in it. Well, a weakening as it hits BG. I don't see any signs of it weakening as it hits BG, but I also don't see any signs of it strengthening. Probably just be kind of the same scenario that we're already seeing right now. How long do you think till this hits E-Town? Again, anytime between now and 8 p.m. Eastern Time, you have those chances, but probably about 45 minutes to an hour until that line starts to get into E-Town, unless you have some more develop on the front side. No, Jackson, I don't see any. Just got here. How you doing, man? You've been a busy man last few days. Andrew, yeah, it's been crazy. Again, I was just joking with my friends last week, or a couple weeks ago, I should say. Just saying I wanted to pick up a side job or something, not because of the money, but because because we're fine on money. But it's just I was bored. I needed something to do. Samuel's been great. I can't tell you guys how phenomenally lucky we got. He sleeps for 6 or 7 hours at a time at night. Even right now, he's kind of teething a little bit. It still hasn't been all that bad. I mean, he's had his fussy fits. Don't get me wrong, as every baby does. But for the most part, he sleeps. Even when he's up, he only really cries whenever he's hungry or we're changing his butt. So it's been pretty smooth sailing, I would say. I know it's not going to last. I know it. So, but I'm not going to take advantage of it. But it does feel nice to not have a baby that's always angry. Well, that's a new one, Chris. I never heard of that. Never heard someone trying to weed eat while they're watching me. Look what we got going on here. The same process as what we just saw. I'm late. When can South Louisville expect to see this? Caitlin, thank you for your 100 stars. And again, I think it's any time between now and 8 p.m. Eastern Time. But you also have that new line beginning to form up here. Yeah, I'm noticing that too, Mike. But we're also noticing this front starting to gust out once again. So now it's starting to make new storms on the front side. And that back side will start to influence them a little bit more. So we're starting to repeat those same patterns, right? Because remember when we first hopped on the broadcast, that's what was occurring back in Evansville. The original line was kind of dying down. It was shoving the winds out in front, creating that new line. Eventually, that back line caught the front line. They merged together and created this. And now we're starting to see that process once again. The winds are starting to gust out in front, making it a little bit of a cold front, making new lines, or new cells of storms along a new line, I should say. And now we'll watch this line right here. It'll probably catch up to the new line in about an hour or so. So same processes are starting to on-go in central Kentucky that we saw back out west. I want to take a look back here again. Mike's reminded me that there might be some rotation down here. I'm not seeing rotation just yet. I mean, there's a lot of broad rotation everywhere, but I am starting to see the curl that he's talking about down here near Morton's Gap, going toward Nortonville. So I just want to put this general area on a little bit of an alert right now. Greenville, Powderly, Central City, Bremen, and Nortonville. Nothing really going on just yet, but there's a lot of early signs that we might be dealing with a little bit of rotation coming down the road here in the next 10 to 15 minutes down there. So just a heads up for you folks in southwest Kentucky. Let's go ahead and measure the wind gust out here once again. Still seeing some very broad rotation over here just to the east of Beaver Dam, but it also looks like it's beginning to weaken a little bit. So probably starting to look at just a really strong thunderstorm there. Up here toward Irvington, let's go ahead and measure some of the wind gust up here. Seeing 54, seeing 53. Yeah, about 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gust still ongoing, which makes sense, especially if this is starting to undergo that process. Let me go ahead and actually fix that. Especially if this is starting to undergo that process once again, where you're starting to see the gust front go out in front. It's making this new line up here along a new cold front. What we call a little temporary cold front. It's not an actual cold front, but it's actually dropping the temperature, so it acts like a cold front. And I bet you what we see over the next few minutes down here is a similar situation. This will begin to bow out, create a nice wind gust threat once again. Then it will start to make new storms once again. We're already kind of seeing it right here. And it'll just keep undergoing the same processes over and over again. I do think that this is probably the only storm threat of the day. Do we see some backside storm possibilities? Yes, but I don't think we're talking about severe weather because this one is already so strong. It's helping to tamper the weather down. Okay, I'll look at that, Mike. Nice little shelf cloud in Hardinsburg. I thought that said Harrisburg for a second, but Hardinsburg, Kentucky. Let's see here. So I want to show you this real quickly. This is going to seem a little bit complicated, but I just want to show you this real quickly. For those of you that I keep asking about tornado threats today, so here's your tornado index. So I just want to let you know that usually unless this number is kind of over 6 or 7, we don't really pay attention. So you can see the highest number out of everywhere in this general portion of the entire United States is a 3. So not really paying attention to the tornado threats today. For most of Kentucky, there's not even anything on the index. It's only in western Kentucky, which, by the way, we don't expect storms to actually occur out here much longer. So, and even a 2 is just not anything to worry about. But you see what is kind of lit up? It is, let's go ahead and pull it up once again, the microburst composite. So, again, this will actually shift a little bit east here. You can kind of see it as we go through the hours here, kind of shift east a little bit each hour. So microburst is kind of what we're dealing with right now. It is a microburst of winds. So you can get a damaging wind gust threat very quickly, die down, damaging wind gust threat very quickly, die down, so on and so forth. So again, we're just looking mainly at a wind threat right now, damaging wind threat of up to 60 to 70 mile per hour. I don't usually show those maps on broadcast because they are quite confusing to look at, but I just wanted to kind of point it out because I'm still seeing a lot of questions about tornado chances, and I just want to urge you that there's just not a very high tornado threat tonight. Meade County, it's entering your location right now. It's just a strong thunderstorm with a lot of lightning and perhaps some wind gusts up to 45 mile per hour, but we're not seeing severe levels being met just yet there. Can we see it at a given any second? Absolutely, but right now it's not at severe parameters. Uh-oh, what do we have here? Let's go ahead and take a look down here. This cell just to the south of Hardinsburg has got a little bit of that early signs of doing a little something. Downburst of winds, maybe. But I fear it's probably going to be absorbed by this line. This line will eventually catch up to it. Still seeing some rotation down here by Beaver Dam and Hartford, but once again, it's messy. It's messy. You've got moisture influence from here, moisture influence from here, moisture influence from here. I don't think we're probably looking at anything there. Let's go ahead and look back down here toward the Madisonville area where we saw some brief rotation before. Once again, I think if this was not in the way right here on the left side of your screen, I think you're probably looking at a spin-up chance on the southern side of this line right here. But once again, this is going to pull us back into it, create a gust front, and I think that's probably going to kill the rotation chances there in the next 5 to 10 minutes. So one active warning in the state right now for severe thunderstorms. That is for Central City, Greenville, and Madisonville. Can we see some more severe warnings pop up? Absolutely, especially as this line scoots a little bit closer to I-65. Still some favorable energies ongoing out there. I just want to point out once again, look at the temperature drops that these are creating along their path. It's 91 degrees down here in Bowling Green, Kentucky, whereas opposed to Henderson County in Henderson, Kentucky, it is 70 degrees. So these storms are dropping the temperatures by about 20 degrees along their path. You're going to feel a nice change of pace. Probably about an hour and a half for New Haven. Litchfield and Clarkson, it's about to enter your location, and it does look like a very strong thunderstorm capable of producing up to 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts and lots of lightning. I'm going to need some more water soon. Brianna, are you watching by chance? Can I get some more water if you don't mind? Please? Please? If I leave the broadcast again, people are going to wonder where I'm going. Caitlin, I wouldn't say it's strengthening. I would say these are pulsing up and down, which is pretty classic with these types of lines. So, for example, once again, just want to point out that the history of this. Look at the amount of lighting with this. Holy crap. I couldn't decide if I wanted to say cow or crap right there, but get my point. So basically what we've seen so far from the history of the storm, it kind of started around here, got really strong through here, weakened a little bit through here, got really strong through here, looks like it's weakening again, and if we keep up with the same pattern, it might strengthen once again right around here. So I wouldn't say they're strengthening or weakening. I would just say they're pulsing up and down. Chastity with the 18 stars. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, sweetheart. Thank you. Kristen, thank you for the update there. I appreciate that. Timing for Hodgenville, Kentucky, probably about an hour. How did you get to the meso analysis page? I can only find the discussions. I have it bookmarked, so I don't know the actual website. It looks like it is, if you want to, you can take a screenshot real quickly. spc.noaa.gov /expert/mesoanalysis. So it'd probably just be easier to take a screenshot of it. Here, I'll actually just do this. Copy, paste. There you go. Where's my mouse at? Beth with the 50 stars. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Bowling Green time, probably about an hour and a half. Someone's asking about Edmonson County, probably there about 45 minutes or so. Morgantown. Okay, I can never remember, so let's go ahead and use the new search bar that we learned. I know where Morganfield and Madisonville is, but I can never remember Morgantown for some reason. That is not what we were looking for. That's the only bad thing about the search bar. Morgantown, Kentucky. It's right there. There we go. Thank you. Morgantown right there. Probably got about 35 minutes or so. Why does Morgantown not like populate? Look at that. Why does it not populate like I want it to? I think I need to work on the population settings of the cities on here. Okay, I'll check it out, Mike. Definitely. We do have a new severe warning that's just gone up once again here, and this is what we've been talking about. The storms will continue to pulse up and down. Severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued for Meade County in central Kentucky. It is for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, the main threat there. Brandenburg, Ekron, Mockport, Lasonia, or Guston. What are these names? Liddell, Rockhaven, Grahamton, Titus, and Hughes Landing. Who thought of these city names? The more times I do these broadcasts, the more just frustrated I get. What are some of these names? Oh, Lord have mercy. I think they're just trying to make me look bad at this point. Anyway, those are your cities of locations of impact there. Let's go ahead and measure the wind gust out there. If you guys have any forecast questions, make sure you go check out our forecast information. It's all over Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. You can read or watch on what to expect. Yep, looking at 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts right on the side of that line, entering the Brandenburg area, Mockport, Ekron area. Next up after that would be Muldraugh, West Point, and Fort Knox. So for those locations there in central Kentucky, north central Kentucky, be on the heads up, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts heading toward your location right now. Look at that little baby cell just south of Elizabethtown. Wanting to travel northeast against the grain. Wanting to travel that way instead of this way. I also want to look back down here toward Madisonville real quick before I forget. So I'm not seeing a whole lot, but there's tons of broad upper level rotation across that entire line down there. If one of those portions of the line can kind of get alone, they might try to do a little something down there. We'll keep an eye on it. So once again, just Central City, Greenville, Madisonville, those folks down there in southwestern Kentucky or western Kentucky, be on the heads up. If any of these can get organized and get alone, they may try to get briefly stronger. Still seeing a little bit of rotation just to the west of Caneyville at this point. Not a whole lot, though. We'll see how it acts as it absorbs that cell in Beaver Dam. What is the forecast for next winter? I would love to know. Maybe I will go buy a lottery ticket. Am I crazy, or has this year been crazy for storms? I don't think you're crazy. I think the difference with this year, because quite honestly, it's been a pretty average year. Um, Now, as a whole, for all the United States, it's definitely been an uptick with significant tornadoes. Uh, but microscopically, it has been a pretty average year for Kentucky. Maybe a little above average on tornadoes. I have to go back and look. Um, but I think the reason it feels like it's been such a long year of severe weather is because we keep getting these big gaps in between. Oh, thank you. What do you got for me there? Coffee and water? Thank you. Oh no, I'm good. I'll drink it. You need some coffee? I figured. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. Look at that. W wife right there. Thank you. Thank you. Married a good one. Um, what was I saying here? What was I saying before she came in? What in the world was I saying? Surely someone remembers. Yeah, you can probably travel to E-Town real quick, Scarlett. Oh, that's hot. Wow, that's hot. Never mind. We'll give that a minute. Yeah, that's awesome. About the more storms. Yes, thank you. So I think the reason that this year has felt so long when it comes to severe weather and why it's felt like it's been so much more abrupt than previous years, even though it really hasn't been, is because we keep having these stretches of big breaks in between, and then we'll have like 3 to 5 days of just straight severe weather, right? I mean, it was just like that in March. It was like that in April. It was like that in May, right? We actually talked about this in the team chat earlier. It feels like every time we bring in a new month this year, right, throughout spring and summer, we have had a severe threat. Just think about it. March 1st, March 2nd, right? March 27th, right? April 1st and April 2nd. May 24th through the 27th, as well as May 1st through the 3rd, right? And then we had something at the beginning of June, not anything hardcore, but something at the beginning of June. We had the end of June going into July toward 4th of July. That was a severe stretch, right? Now we're at the end of June. We've had 4 days straight, and now we're at August 1st. So it feels like every time we end a month and go into a new one, we have had a severe stretch here. Now, it hasn't always produced significant weather, but we've always had a severe threat at the end of each month or the beginning of the next month, right? So I think that's why it's felt so long this year, or why it's felt like, oh my gosh, we have always had severe weather this year. When in reality, really haven't. We just have these crazy stretches for 3 to 5 days, and then we have nothing for 2 to 3 weeks, and then we have 3 to 5 days, right? I think that's why it feels like it's been so long. That's still way too hot. All right, so let's do a little bit of a recap here. Now that we have new folks coming in here, we have new storms going up. Let's go ahead and measure across the board here. First, I want to look at Louisville, make sure everything's going on okay up there. I do see some 60-mile-per-hour wind gust ongoing up there, just to the exiting Corydon, heading toward Lanesville, Georgetown, New Albany, Pleasure Ridge Park, Valley Station, Shively, and Metro Louisville. Be on the heads up, Metro Louisville. About 15 minutes till the wind gusts get to your location. Let me text my friend Kaylee, or Kelly. I said Kaylee. Where in the world is my thread up with him? Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. We do a little bit of helping up there in the Louisville area. Just want to make sure that they know what's going on. Elsewhere, Brandenburg, Ekman, and just to the west of Muldrow still have 60-mile-per-hour wind gust ongoing there in those locations. Here's the update on the temperatures, by the way, just so you can kind of see for yourself once again as these storms are coming through. Look at what they're doing to the temperature. 70 degrees now in Breckenridge County. It was just 91 degrees there, I believe, about a half hour ago. Again, so next up for these storms, let's go ahead and draw a line once again here. Next up for these storms will be this area in this white circle. So Radcliffe, Elizabethtown, Litchfield, Central City, Greenville, Edmonson County, going to Louisville areas, up in southern Indiana. You are next up to feel the brunt of the anywhere between 45 to 65-mile-per-hour wind gust. Right now, the focus of the wind threat is from Louisville to northern Harlan County back out toward B County and this area. And then once again down here for Greenville to Central City, the focus of the wind threat is down there for your portion, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. In between those two areas, we have special weather statements on the central parts of the line there for 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So realistically, genuinely, anywhere along this line, 45 to 65 mile per hour wind gusts are ongoing. And nowhere on the line are we seeing any significant spots of rotation. Let's just go ahead and double check and make sure. I am still seeing some broad portions of rotation down here just to the west of Caneyville. Once again, ignore the big tornado image right there. That's just an automated output by the radar. That is very upper level broad rotation. In fact, this right now to me looks more like a downburst of winds that are heading into Caneyville. Might need a severe warning there for the western portions of Grayson County. Susan on YouTube, thank you for the update out of Hardinsburg. Lots and lots and lots and lots of lightning involved with these, by the way. I have the minimal amount of lightning bolts turned on, and look how many are still showing up. I mean, I could turn this up to the max here of absorbing everything. Um, Look at that. All these pluses are lightning strikes over the last 30 minutes. So lots and lots and lots and lots of lightning out there. So these are going to sound very, very, very loud. Starting to see that gust front once again. So be on the lookout once again, basically from Vine Grove to West Point. might get some periodically, or sort of looking for here, briefly higher wind gusts up to maybe 65 mile per hour. I'm not sure who Chris Allen is, Matty Grace. I tried to avoid, and this is going to sound very weird, but I tried to avoid other people in the industry, not because I try to be a loner or think I'm better or anything like that. I try not to have any influence on my forecast from other forecasters. So I pick a couple of people that I like to work with. We have a small circle of different pages and different folks and whatnot, that we work together on some things on. But outside of that, I try to avoid even going and exploring other people's stuff, because I just don't want to have my forecast influenced. So maybe people can't come to me down the road and say, "Hey, you stole my forecast," or "Hey, you got your idea from me," or whatever it might be. I like to be my own person, and our company be our own. So I try to actually avoid. So I honestly have no idea who Chris Allen is. Chris Allen was part of WBKO. Was he a good part of WBKO, or was he what they are now? I mean, I'll look into him for sure if you want me to, like, you know, try to get an idea of things. I just try to stay. I just try to stay away because I just don't. I don't like the idea of people trying to say. I mean, the only reason I heard of the whole Mark Weinberg thing the other day was because someone messaged me. Like, I don't even follow him, and not because I don't dislike him. Even after what he said, I don't dislike him. That's just I try to avoid having any type of influence. Oh, okay, Jocelyn, got you. Wait, I think I know who you're talking about. Did you say his name was Chris Allen? If I saw a picture of him, I remember pictures more than I do. Okay, got you, Mike. Does Cherie still have the Twitter? Yes, she does. Okay. I remember faces more than I do names, quite honestly. All right, let's go ahead and check back in on the wind gust once again here. Let's go ahead and measure around real briefly. Do see some nice wind gusts showing up near Brandenburg, Kentucky. A lot of lightning just to the west of it. So this shows a strengthening storm system here on the Brandenburg side. Up here toward Louisville once again. Louisville got about 10 to 15 minutes, Metro Louisville, for those wind gusts to get to you. Looking at about 45 to 55 mile per hour wind gust. I don't see 60 mile per hour. But again, it's so close to the radar that it could just be the radar ingesting some of it. Yeah, if I go up to a different tilt, you can see those wind gusts really pick up near Brandenburg. So definitely be on the lookout in Louisville Metro, Shalvey, the Pleasure Ridge Park as well for some 55 mile per hour wind gust or so. Down here toward that Greenville area, Madisonville and southwestern Kentucky, Central City. Still seeing a little bit of rotation, still ongoing, but once again, it's just so messy down there. I think if this line was thinner and kind of alone, you probably see some rotating structures. You probably would see some, or the potential for a tornado down there. But since it's so messy, I don't think you're probably looking at that at this point. Heads up, Hardin County, that line is now entering your county, be moving throughout that area. Grayson County, as well as down there toward Edmonson County down there as well. You have the threat moving into your locations once again. A long special weather statement here, very big box. Basically, the impact is going to be gusty winds that can knock over or knock down tree limbs, blow around unsecured objects. Wind gusts up to 50 mile per hour, basically stretching all the way from Bullock County down toward Grayson and Edmonson counties, or Ohio County, I should say. No, if you're talking about this little cell right here, I probably wouldn't even pay it a whole lot of mind, honestly. It looks like it's just a heavy downpour with a few lightning strikes in it. Nathan with the 100 stars, thank you so much. Thanks for everything you do, man. You are awesome. I appreciate that. Beth with the 50 stars, thank you. He now works at WKY. Oh, okay, got you. I got you guys. I got you guys. So in the middle of the storm seems to be the weakest section of it. Yeah, and that's usually how it goes, really. Usually how it goes. Usually with these types of setups, you have the southern side as the more spinny side. Usually, And we're kind of starting to see it now. This will begin to bow out. So this might start producing some more wind gusts here very soon. And then you'll kind of have the side, and then you'll kind of get the northern side where it's a bunch of rain. So honestly, this is kind of going like your classic MCS. This is, southern side's the strongest with the most spin. And then you'll have rain on pockets like here and here that also have a nice little bit of a wind gust, what we refer to as a downburst. And then you'll just have a bunch of rain on the northern side of it. And that's kind of going how your classic MCS goes. Can't hear you. I'm muted. Can you guys hear me? Type 1 if you guys can hear me. It says my mic is fine. Your shirt matches the warning color. Someone else pointed that out earlier too. I guess I was subliminally thinking about the watch today. Well, whatever cup brand this is, I recommend it because this crap is still hot. I can hear you good. Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate you guys letting me know. Someone said they couldn't hear me. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Wow, that is hot. What is this? That is staying hot, but it's good. It's making my throat feel better. Honestly, every time we get these stretches where I have to broadcast each day for multiple hours, my throat starts just hurts. All right, let's go ahead and measure once again. Not seeing, got a nice little wind gust going on in here now. So again, if this line down here to the south can get thin, I mean, look at all that. There's rotation all over this. I mean, there's just rotation all over this. If this can thin out and get into just an organized little line, we might have a severe threat for more than just winds in Morgantown, Louisburg, maybe even Bowling Green. But again, there's a lot of rain down there too, so it's struggling to get organized. Even have a little bit of some rotation going on in Vine Grove, Kentucky as well. Again, don't think it indicates any type of tornado or anything, just kind of pointing that out. Let's say we're about to get some eyeballs on it. I, once again, live right in here, so I'm about to get some eyeballs on this portion of the line. Does your cup match your shirt? No, unfortunately, it does not. Pro Ranger, thank you for the update out of Mercer County. I appreciate you. Do you drink your coffee black? Sometimes I do. It depends on what mood I'm in, but most times, no, I put a little bit of cream or sugar in there. Is the line and the blob in Elizabethtown going to connect? Probably at some point it will. At some point, this line will probably catch this, or this will just fizzle out altogether. Either way, I don't think it changes anything. Looks like we're starting to outflow a little bit, so it looks like these storms might begin to start weakening soon. Hopefully that's the case because I would love to go to bed early tonight. So fingers are crossed over here. Is Samuel wearing salmon as well? No, I think he's wearing his astronaut onesie. Kindle, I would not recommend driving through rain that's coming down this heavy. So if you're in Litchfield, it's already approaching you. I would just stay off the roadways if you can. Lisa, thank you for the update out of Litchfield. Litchfield area looks like it's fixing to get hammered with rain again. Lots of heavy rain with this coming into Litchfield within the next 10 minutes. What's it about Morgantown? Looks about 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts and heavy rain coming into your location in about 15 to 25 minutes there. Look at all this lightning. On the western side of Hardin County, probably just west of, just west of Rineyville and Whole Valley out there. Metagrass, I hope so too. I hope so too. Yeah, we don't need any more rain here in Radcliffe either. We've been begging for rain for 3 or 4 weeks. I think we have more than enough to make up for that time frame. Okay, I'm gonna go open the window so we can hear it. My favorite part of the broadcast. You know, one thing about these storms the last few days, yes, they have not been as severe as what we may have forecasted. But man, are they loud? Like even here, we're not in a severe warning in Radcliffe, right? And the winds are just whipping through here. Yeah, it looks like maybe a nice downburst of winds heading into Vine Grove in Radcliffe, Kentucky. Let's go ahead and go up to a different tilt here. Still seeing some nice 60-mile-per-hour winds out here toward Brandenburg, Kentucky. Up there in Louisville, I'm still not seeing a whole lot of wind gusts for you. I'm not really sure what the warning's for up there, but still keeping an eye on it. Probably 45 to 55 mile per hour wind gust entering the Louisville metro area now. Don't think that qualifies for a severe warning, but nonetheless, it's there, so we'll forecast it. Let's go ahead and go down here. Still seeing some very broad rotation along the entire line, pretty much. Probably indicating some nice downburst of winds. It's coming down out there. Pro Ranger with a $5 donation on YouTube. Second donation of the day. Thank you so much. That's going to Lake Cumberland this weekend for my birthday. Can handle rain, but are any storms predicted this weekend? So I have not looked at this weekend very much, but I can tell you that I do think the pattern probably ends Friday. So this weekend probably should look good. But again, just kind of check back in on our pages on Twitter and Facebook because I have not done a whole lot of looking at the weekend forecast. I want to show you this from Bobby on Twitter, former National Weather Service meteorologist down there in Nashville. Just posted a picture of the StormNet AI. So this is an artificial intelligence model, but this is actually a pretty good model. Usually I'm all against AI stuff. I really am. But this is a pretty good live model. And it does show a significant threat for, or an elevated threat for damaging winds between Louisville and Elizabethtown, so places like West Point, Radcliffe, Fort Knox, so on and so forth. So be on the heads up if you are in north central Kentucky, basically from Bullitt County, Jefferson County, Hardin County, Nelson County, to Meade County. Be on the heads up. Might have an uptick in wind gust here. We'll see if that AI model is correct. Oregon Knox, thank you for the update out of Fort Knox. I appreciate that. Will the storm be out of Radcliffe by 6 p.m.? It should be, unless anything develops on the backside of it. Something just got broken outside. I don't know what it was. Yeah, again, the amount of precipitable water out there. I just want to show you guys this again. Look at this. So this chart shows us the amount of precipitable water in the atmosphere. Basically, what that means is the amount of moisture. Probably should shut that window, actually. It's the amount of moisture that's involved in the atmosphere that might or that could be transported into a raindrop. Right now, we're over 2 in much of Kentucky, and that indicates a very, very, very saturated environment that would support very heavy, very big raindrops. With coming down, in the middle of 45 to 55 mile per hour wind gust, probably pretty damn tough to drive through, if I had to say. Sorry for cussing, but probably tough. That's why we kept trying to tell you folks, stay off the roads. Stay off the roads. Lots of wrecks occur during storms like this. The last time I measured, the winds in Louisville were 50 mile per hour. The warning is there for 60 mile per hour, so it could go up to 60 mile per hour here and there. Maybe near Ottoman Park or Pleasure Ridge Park, maybe down to Valley Station. But I'm measuring mainly 50 mile per hour winds. Let's go ahead and measure once again. We have 29 plus 20. So let's say about 49 to 55 mile per hour winds right now. Severe warnings have been canceled for down in Greenville and Central City. That makes sense. I think it's just too much rain going on down there. That part of the line can eventually get strong and perhaps severe. Well, it's already strong, so let me rephrase that. Could perhaps get severe once again, but that part of the line has to thin out if that's going to occur. It has to. There's too much rain. Megan, thank you for the update out of Louisville. Yeah, this will arrive in Lexington in about an hour and a half, but it should be weaker by the time it gets there. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning for the Jeffersontown to Linden area on the east side of Jefferson County, heading into Shelbyville area. Jefferson County in central Kentucky for 60 mile per hour wind gusts. So a new warning is issued up there for those folks in the Louisville area. I do definitely see some spikes up here. Let me go ahead and put this back down to tilt 1. Definitely some spikes, but it looks more like, almost looks like just radar scud. But I could definitely see perhaps some 55 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts up there in Louisville on the eastern side of the city. Okay, severe watches are starting to be dropped. So once this line passes you, your severe threat is over. So severe watches have been canceled, and canceled. And then I think up here as well. So once this line passes you, they're pretty much dropping you out of the watch, just like the last few days. Bowling Green, you have about an hour until it reaches you. Same threat. 60 mile per hour wind gusts are the main threat. I mean, yeah, I don't see anything super. I mean, depending on what time the open houses are, if they're like 6 p.m. or so, I think you should be fine. You're more so going to be driving through some rain. I would just stay off the roads probably the next 15 to 20 minutes in Harnett County if you can. Let the winds kind of get through first before you step out on the roadways. Lisa, thank you for that update there. Appreciate you. You're about to see the rain in Litchfield here within the next 5 to 10 minutes. Peggy, it's unclear if that will be the case just yet. Matter Grace, it kind of some portions of the line are, some portions are not. And I want to remind you guys again, these lines will continue to pulse up and down, so they'll get stronger and weaker, stronger and weaker. What about Pikeville, Kentucky? I think you're way too far east. You'll see some thunderstorms later on tonight, but they will not be severe. I'm going to close this window because it's probably hard for you guys to hear me. Holy cow, it is raining out there. I mean, it kind of goes without saying, but man, it is raining. No, Lisa, they're kind of just pulsing up and down. They're kind of just pulsing up and down. Rebecca, I think by the time 6 p.m. rolls around in E-Town, it'll probably just be, mainly rain at that point. I want to say thank you again for everyone that's sharing the broadcast. I appreciate you guys helping us out to spread the information and getting as many folks informed and up to date as possible. Thank you guys for helping us by sharing the broadcast. Welcome to all our new followers on both YouTube and Facebook. We appreciate you all and your trust. Thank you so much. Thank you for the update out of Cecilia. Appreciate that. This will not miss South Bowling Green. Yeah, DJ, I think Summer State probably have about 3 hours or so until it gets to you, 2 to 3 hours. By that point, they should be in a substantially weaker state. We'll kind of keep an eye on it, though. They could pose a threat to Versailles, but technically you're in that watch right there. But I think they will be in a much weaker state by the time they get over there. What about Brandenburg? The main line's already past your location. I think your severe threat is now over. Again, once this line passes you, your severe threat's pretty much over. These are just draining the atmosphere at this point. Thank you, DJ. Sunday, thank you for the update. Line absorbing a cell in what? Beaver Dam? Still, by the way, still seeing some. Now we're starting to see some nice wind gusts over here on the east side of Louisville. Once again, I want to give you a heads up. St. Regis Park, Douglas Hills, Linden, Kentucky, just east of St. Matthews. Seeing some nice 60 mile per hour, maybe even up to 65 mile per hour wind gust on that northeast side of Louisville. So for those of you folks that are watching from out there, be able to look out for some damages, perhaps. When you get that kind of wind gust, even as small as they are, in a very populated city like Louisville, you can definitely look for some traffic damages or some chaos on the roadways up there. So for those of you folks, Minor Lane Heights, Okolona, Newburgh, Butyl, Forest Hills, St. Regis Park, Middletown, Anchorage. Eventually, this will work its way over to Highview, Fern Creek, J-Town. Those folks probably look out for some downed limbs in that location. Hopefully, the power outages stay minimal there. Don't see anything about anything absorbing a Beaver Dam. Matter of fact, this storm is almost out of Beaver Dam at this point. Do see some actual rotation down here near Elizabethtown, but I want to point this out as well. On the left side of your screen, we're also seeing that boundary, that gust front being pushed out once again, so that's helping to keep the storms tamed. These storms want to be going. They want to punch. But each time they do, they're getting outflowed. They're getting gust flowed. They're being tamed. So far, so good for most of the state. Just very, very loud, very rowdy. Stephanie, is that Baptist in E-Town? Rancher, thank you for becoming a supporter over there on YouTube. Thank you so much. I think that might be our first supporter on YouTube. Or our first member, whatever you call that. I don't know, because I'm very new to YouTube. Thank you so much. Cowie says the wind is crazy in Fort Knox. Yeah, we're looking at about 45 mile per hour gust in that northern portion of the county. Definitely seeing some rotation in Elizabethtown right now. Not seeing it in a spot where I think a tornado or anything is going to be produced, but it might indicate a brief downburst of winds about to occur down there. Probably needs to go severe warned here very soon for that Elizabethtown area. So next up after that would be New Haven and Hodgenville. Or you would be next up for that cell or that part of the line there. Dude, my yard is flooded. Oh, goodness. I knew it wouldn't take much today. It was already getting very close yesterday. Yeah, Thunder's going crazy. Thunder is going crazy right now. Yeah, Bowling Green, you still got him in an hour until it gets to you, so you're fine. Looks like a funnel starting to form in front of the old movie theater in Elizabethtown. I am seeing some rotation, so that wouldn't surprise me, but I don't think that probably makes it to the ground. I don't. Let me go ahead and do some more digging here because this E-Town part of the line is starting to look a little mischief. It's just so broad. I am seeing a little bit of a drop on the correlation chart, but it's just so broad. I don't think this is actually producing anything, but we're still going to keep an eye on it. Also want to point out once again up here from Middletown, Anchorage, you have 60 to 65 mile per hour wind gusts in your location right now. Hopefully you can get off the roadways if you can hear my voice or stay inside. Overall, the winds in Louisville look to start taming down here very soon. But right now we still have a 65 mile per hour gust or so between Anchorage and Middletown and East Louisville. Elsewhere, once again, still watching some very broad rotation in Hardin County near E-Town. Back out here to the southwest, let's go ahead and switch radars down here to the Hopkinsville radar. Big thunder about to come through. Morgantown, got some strong storms ongoing there. I'm seeing a nice little burst of winds just to the south of Drakesboro, between Drakesboro and Rochester, just north of Louisburg, Kentucky. But it will miss Louisburg, Kentucky. Still seeing some nice burst of winds there. That could probably go severe warned at any point as well. So I know I don't hear them damn kids outside again. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm cussing a little bit more today. That's pretty unprofessional. I'm sorry about that. But I just don't understand why you would put kids outside in the middle of a lightning storm. I guess as a father now, I just don't get it. I don't get it. It's one thing about letting your kid go play in the mud puddle while it's raining and stuff. They need that, when it's not anything dangerous to them. But with all this lightning out here, I mean, look at the amount of lightning. I don't get it. I don't get it. Probably Dylan. You guys hear that? Holy cow. Carolyn, thank you for the 50 stars. I appreciate that. Here comes another one. Yeah, Jeff. And I would let when Samuel gets older, he can go play out in the rain all he wants. 'Cause I think it's important for kids to connect with the nature like that. As me personally, my own point of view on that. But when it's lightning outside like that, that probably shouldn't do that. Probably shouldn't let your kid out there. Oh yeah, Bo. Oh yeah, that one just woke up Samuel. I saw that. I literally saw it hit the ground over there. I'll have to go check those trees out later. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Let's go ahead and do a little look around the radar here real quickly once again. Let's not get off track here. Still seeing some solid rotation down there for Elizabethtown. Not anything too crazy though. Probably indications of about a 50 to 60 mile per hour wind a wind downburst down there. Up here toward Louisville, we're still seeing a 65 mile per hour wind gust up there for Middletown and Anchorage. Just to the east of Oklahoma and Minor Lane Heights, still seeing some nice wind gusts there as well, but that should be exiting Jefferson County here very soon. Down here in southwestern Kentucky, let's go ahead and take a look down there from their radar in Hopkinsville. Rotation all over the place down there, but the difference is not enough space for these storms to breathe. Way too much rainfall. And if there was less rainfall, let's say if this line was cut in half width-wise, we'd probably have multiple rotating superstorms down there, but too much rain involved at this time. Hopefully that keeps up. Up here, once again, we're starting to see those winds pick back up. Probably need a warning from Mount Washington here very soon. Mount Washington, heads up. You're not warned yet. Shepherdsville, you're also not warned for some reason. But we are seeing 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts down there. Here comes another one here in a second. 3, 2, 1. Damn, that would have been cool. But there it goes, of course. But still seeing some wind gusts everywhere along this line from Louisville down to Elizabethtown. Winds are starting to pick back up once again. This is what we talked about, folks. This line, as it goes into more of this shape, let me go back over here to the other radar. This line, as it turns into more of a C, right? Let's go ahead and pull this over here and do our little Bob Ross effort here. As it turns into more of the C, this middle portion will pull us up and down, creating a little wind gust threat here and there for places like Mount Washington, maybe even Bardstown, maybe even Lebanon down the road, places down throughout this line. And then on the southern portion of this line, back out here toward Greenville and Hopkinsville, this is the portion of the line that could rotate eventually, but the problem is there's too much rain on the front side for it to allow any type of inflow to really go into it. Back out here to the west, I am actually seeing a pretty strong cell going rogue out here in western Kentucky. What can occur here? So I want to show you this. A lot of you are going to look at this and think this is going down here. You would be wrong. This is actually a part of a new boundary. If you look at this new line here, this will actually drift up toward the piece of energy, may spark a new round of storms late tonight going into the overnight hours. However, the feeling at this point would probably be that this should not be severe. It'll probably just be strong thunderstorms, but another round of loud thunderstorms may be on the way tonight going into the overnight hours, just based off of what I just saw at the corner of my eye right there. Summer, I do believe that it will weaken by the time it gets to Lexington. Tree down in the road in Eastview by the school. Thank you for that update there. Shelly, these are moving at about a speed of 35 to 45 mile per hour. All right, just kind of looking around here, doing some analysis, making sure that we're not missing anything. Look at these temperatures just continue to get absolutely crashed. Absolutely crashed. 70 degrees now in Breckenridge County, where it was 91 degrees about 45 minutes ago. Some relief coming from these storms. I'll take a look here. Okay, now we're starting to see some signs of weakening. We're starting to see this big blue here. Unfortunately, because we vote for, or we vote, oh my gosh, that almost came out really bad. We go for red in this house, meaning Louisville, not politics. Please, no one get upset. That was just a misspeak. Okay, I meant go for it because I'm a Louisville Cardinal fan. We go for red. Okay, not big blue. Gosh, that was almost really bad. I just saw my career flash before my eyes. Anyway, here we go. Big blue blob here. This means, I'm sorry. It has been a long 4 days, guys. I am just talking out of the side of my mouth right now. A big blue blob here in western Indiana going into Kentucky now, entering the western portions of Kentucky. Basically means there's a lot of negative energy being formed now that these storms are really starting to tank down the atmosphere. So these storms should start. I need some sleep. Should start to weaken here very soon. Oh my goodness. Oh no, you Cal. Oh gosh. What if I started? Yay, sports ball. Oh, OMG, I'm gonna have to leave now. Louisville fan, question mark. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Go sports. Yeah, because I accidentally said vote, and oh my gosh, if you bring up any type of, that political stuff, I almost said political. Oh my god, I need to go back to bed. You can very easily ruin your career just on accident, just from just from stuttering a lot. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's going in. That's going in the history of the channel right there. That was a funny moment. No, Bowling Green would definitely get hit by this line of storms here in about an hour or so, a little bit less than an hour. Measuring or looking around the area here is not seeing anything that's severe potential wise. Even up here toward Louisville, we do see a little bit of wind still going on up here, just to the north of Mount Washington. Now, just directly north of Mount Washington with the new scan. Looks like 60-mile-per-hour wind gust going on in Fern Creek and Highview. That will be exiting toward the Shelbyville and Taylorsville area here very soon. You need more coffee. No, the problem is I've had too much coffee and I'm stuttering because of it, but it's okay. Yes, E-Town will be clear soon. Probably about another 20, 30 minutes. I just keep thinking about when I almost said vote red. Oh my gosh. Shoo. I meant to say go red, and for some reason I almost said vote red. Even, oh gosh. Just saw my career flash before my eyes. Holy. What time do you think we'll be done with Morgantown? Husband is working at home alone with my kid. Morgantown definitely will be done in probably about 30 minutes or so. This line is kind of slowing down a little bit toward your location. Elizabethtown by X94 is getting slammed with wind. Yeah, we definitely measured a 50-mile-per-hour gust out there. Bryce, how we doing, my friend? Sky looks nasty in Sonora. Yeah, lots of low clouds. These are very surface-based storms, so very, very low clouds that are occurring here. Definitely seeing some red next to the green here. Now, when it's this far apart, it does not indicate rotation, but it definitely indicates a downburst of winds, which is probably what you're seeing on eastern side of Hardin County heading toward Lebanon Junction, eastern side of Elizabethtown heading toward New Haven, and then Sonora and Hodgeville, you have that little bitty cell right there that's trying to get going. It looks worse than 50. It could be, but just on the radar from what I'm measuring, it's 50 mile per hour. I'll measure it again for you just to give you some verification. It looks like 45, and then you take it and you add it to the green down here. 45, if this ever updates, plus 14. That's about 50, 45 plus 15. That's almost 60 mile per hour winds, yeah. I wouldn't say that's exactly 60 because you have this is probably erroneous. Probably need to measure more of the gray than the green. So you have 4 miles per hour plus 50. So 54 mile per hour winds. So still very close. Michelle, thank you for the update out of E-Town. I appreciate it there. I appreciate that there. Near McDonald's and have two littles that are freaked out, and they said not again. I know I'm so near McDaniel's. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's been a very long pattern. It's raining hard here in Hodgeville. Thank you for the update. I appreciate that. Yeah, Ranter. It's just a matter of climatology, right? I think a lot of people forget that our planet is always moving. A lot of people forget that Pangea existed, right? We were all one continent before, right? So our planet's constantly moving. So you're going to have stuff that's different than what was 30 years ago. You're going to have stuff that was warmer and colder. You're going to have stuff that was windier, not as windy, because our plates, our lands, our everything, always moving. Do you know when this will be? This would hit with Williamsburg, Kentucky, probably within the next couple of hours. Here, let's go ahead and check this back in once again. Williamsburg. I like this feature now that I know this exists. Williamsburg, Kentucky. You have about 2 to 3 hours, maybe even 3 to 4 hours till it gets to you out there. By that point, it'll be much weaker. Yeah, Co. I just think so many people forget about that. Like I matched a shirt with the watch areas. I didn't even mean to. I just threw this on. I was gonna put a long sleeve on, and I was like, no, it's way too hot. It's way too hot. I was like, nah, I'll go with a short sleeve, and I just grabbed this polo out and happened to match. I like that. What are the wind speeds in J-Town right now? I believe the last time I measured they were 60 mile per hour. I'll go ahead and measure that again for you though. Wow, we have a big wind gust up here just to the north of Mount Washington. Looks like 75 mile per hour winds ongoing between Mount Washington and J-Town. And J-Town specifically, they're only about 15 to 25 mile per hour. But down here for Mount Washington area, just to the north side of it, definitely got some nice winds going on up there. They're going to have to shift that warning around. Probably going to need a warning soon as well for Lebanon Junction area if this keeps strengthening over here for the Bardstown folks. Let me give our friend at the Stephen Foster story a heads up for those folks. One second, I'm just letting the folks at Stephen Foster story know that they have a storm heading their way. Okay. Sorry about that. Trying to keep folks safe out here. What's up to Kentucky look like? Strong storm activity here within the next hour or so. Definitely have to look out for some strong wind gusts up to 50 mile per hour. You do by traveling, having to travel towards Litchfield. Should I have him wait out this evening and go to a friend's house in Smiths Grove? Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to travel right now, obviously he's going to have to travel right into it, right? So that's probably not the best case scenario. Unfortunately for him, this part of the line is kind of lagging behind a little bit. So if he does wait, it will be a little bit. My recommendation would be to wait till tonight because you definitely don't want to drive through 50 mile per hour winds along with a lot of the lightning and rain that you're seeing. These are very heavy rainfall rates, guys. This is not the soft stuff. And then on top of that, you have this storm right here that's now severe that we coming in behind him. So I would wait it out. I mean, he probably has to wait till maybe 7 p.m. Eastern time, so another hour and a half. If he feels like it. We do have a severe warning over here now. I want to read the bulletin for you guys real quickly. It is for 60 mile per hour wind gust, and it is for Muhlenberg County and Todd County and south central Kentucky. Once again, for 60 mile per hour wind gust over here, exiting Greenville, heading toward Dunmore, Belton, and Rosewood, Kentucky. Next up after that would be Lewisburg, if it can hold together, and Russellville area. Big special weather statement just got extended for those folks in central Kentucky. Once again, you could argue that the Mount Washington area needs to be having a severe warning, but It kind of is what it is at this point. Looks like it's falling apart, thankfully. On the east side of Mount Washington, heading toward Taylorsville, some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts still going on there. 50 to 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts line the entire line from Shepherdsville to Lebanon Junction on the E-Town down toward Hodgeville. Once again, down here for the Louisburg area, just to the northeast of it, or northwest of it, I should say, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust ongoing down there for those folks there. Brownsville, want to give you a heads up, not severe warned there, but some nice wind gusts starting to show up for your location. Those will get stronger over the next 15 to 20 minutes. Pretty much, Lily. Pretty much. You can see that entire part of the line is very similar. Ashley, thank you for the update there. I appreciate that. The wind is no joke in Louisville. I have big limbs down in my yard. Yeah, we definitely measured 60 to 65 mile per hour winds through there. Pretty nonstop for most folks in Louisville. Severe warning in Louisville and for Jefferson County has been canceled. Bowling Green, you have less than an hour until it gets into your location. Main threat being damaging winds and heavy rainfall. Carolyn, thank you for your 50 stars. I don't know if I missed that earlier or what, but thank you. It just now showed up for me. Alright guys, I'm going to run to the bathroom real quickly, get rid of some of this water. Of course, I'll be back. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be back. If anyone asks where I went, of course let them know I went to the bathroom. Help me out with that in the chat. I'll go ahead and put this in motion for you guys. I know you guys like to sometimes see this in motion. I'll go ahead and put this in motion for you while I'm gone. All right. There we are. Upton, you just had a chance for 50-mile-per-hour wind gust. E-Town, after this line gets out of your area, you're all clear. By the way, I want to update some of the folks that are now in the all clear. Louisville, you are all clear from your severe threat. By the way, when I say all clear, I mean all clear from the severe threat. Obviously, not all clear from thunderstorm activity, but all clear from the severe threat. I want to make that very clear before I start going through these. Louisville, you're all clear. Bullitt County, you're all clear. Hardin County, you're all clear. Grayson, never mind. Over here toward Fordsville, all clear. Behind this line over here, Central City, Madisonville, you're all clear. Providence, all clear. Morganfield, Henderson, Owensboro, Tell City, Indiana, all clear. Obviously, you folks out here for from Hopkinsville to Paducah, you're all clear because you're not expecting anything at all today. Over here for nothing is all clear yet over here. So if you're behind this line at this point, you're all clear. New Haven, you're just at play to see some damaging wind risk up to 55 mile per hour or so. Not seeing anything severe around that area. I will say I'm continuing to watch this little bad boy. We've been watching this part of the cell for a while now, exiting Hodgenville, heading up toward New Haven and Loretto. It's still rotating, but it's not quite getting there. I think there's just too much rainfall for it to actually get to rotating fully. A part of or along the line, still seeing some 45 to 55 mile per hour wind gusts, maybe even approaching 60 mile per hour, but not quite getting there. Basically from South Village to all the way down to Upton and Hodgenville, 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts line that entire line. Once again, it basically goes from Bedford to Hodgenville, maybe even down to Upton. 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts are part of that entire wall over there. Back over here for Morgantown to Brownsville, a little bit weaker part of the line there. And then over here for Greenville heading to Louisburg, 60 mile per hour wind gusts are occurring there as well. Glasgow, you have about an hour until it reaches you. Main threat, of course, being damaging winds. Monticello, you have about 3 hours till it reaches you, 2 to 3 hours. I think it should fall apart greatly by the time it gets there, but still at risk to see some strong thunderstorm activity. E-Town is in the clear. Yes, Radcliffe's also in the clear. How much longer for E-Town? Radcliffe is all clear. Now, again, I want to remind you that when I say all clear, I'm talking about all clear for the severe threat. Obviously, it's still storming outside, but the severe threat is over. Yeah, I think I measured 55 mile per hour winds near Shelbyville, Ashley. Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, you have about an hour until it gets to your location. Main threat being damaging winds. What city is Scott County? I know what Scott County is. For some reason, it's off the back of my head right now. You guys, I'm exhausted. Anything to worry about on the route? Looks like a strong thunderstorm going on through there. 50 mile per hour wind gusts being the main threat, but it is not severe. Wait, so that green behind the line at Madison, what is that? You're talking about this over here? Or this is a strong thunderstorm, but it's not severe, and I don't think it gets to severe parameters. Scott, it's Georgetown. Thank you. Yes, I knew that. I just, for some reason, could not remember. Yeah, you have about an hour and a half to reach your location. Of course, being the main risk, same as everyone else, being damaging winds if it holds together. Thank you, guys. Look, we're all running on fumes at this point. Thank you guys for your help. Georgetown and Scott County, thank you very much. I'll take a look here to make sure we haven't missed anything. Look at Cherie just knocking out the Twitter. Thank you, Cherie. Coming into Upton now, yeah, looks like some nice wind gusts coming through there, about 50 mile per hour wind gusts. So be on the heads up there for those folks in Upton, from Mumfordville, Brownsville, Horse Cave. This is that part of the line that we told you might strengthen here soon. We saw some signs of it when we were over here. We saw a little bit of rotation, which again does not always indicate tornadoes. By the way, we have a new severe warning that has just gone up. There it is. Severe thunderstorm warning has been issued, and that does include Spencer, Nelson, southeastern Bullitt County. This is where we measured those 60 mile per hour wind gusts. It was just a matter of time. Again, locations impacted include Bardstown, Taylorsville, Bloomsfield, Fairfield, Wakefield, Yoder, High Grove, Waterford. Severe. Let me just text into folks at Stephen Foster story real quickly. Okay, Kelly, if you're in the broadcast, I got your message. I'll look at it here in a minute. Look at it here in a minute. Let's go ahead and measure the winds out here. Oh, absolutely. This morning looks to be a solid morning here. We have 61 mile per hour winds, 63 mile per hour winds. And again, this is just exiting the Bullitt County area, heading into Nelson County. Basically from Bardstown and Taylorsville. Be on the heads up down here. I want to go actually try this on this one. Oh, it does. I think they improved it. Oh, finally. This used to be terrible on the velocity charts for some. Oh, they actually improved this. Okay, this is phenomenal. Now we can stop switch radars so much. So yeah, here we go. Just to the west of Nazareth, we can actually zoom in a little bit more here. Cox's Creek, Deatsville, Hunters, be on the lookout. Some nice severe wind gusts coming to your location. Again, from Deatsville to Hunters to Cox's Creek, Nazareth, even Bardstown, you have solid 55 to 60 mile per hour wind gust ongoing down there, just to the west of you. So highway or 31 East, be on the heads up there. Highway 245, Highway 509. If you're traveling along those, be on the lookout. West of Taylorsville, you have 60 mile per hour wind gusts about to head into your location as well. So but all those folks from Bardstown, even from New Haven, all the way up toward Taylorsville, be on the lookout for 55 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts there. Thank you for the update out of Plum Springs. Well, you don't really upgrade a watch to a warning. So remember, so Ivy has a great meme for this. A watch just basically means you have the ingredients for it. Look out for it within the next few hours. A warning means it's actually happening. So a lot of times, or sometimes, even if you're in a watch area, it may not always need a warning. Also, again, the storm is not in Bowling Green just yet. I'm going to go back over here to this again and measure this. Looks like it's trying to take a little tick up here. Still see, 66 mile per hour winds. Now, just to the west of Nazareth and just to the west of Cox's Creek, you have 58 to 60 mile per hour winds ongoing out there. So heads up to you folks in Nelson County. You're about to get all hit by a nice 60 to 65 mile per hour wind burst happening in your county. Yeah, I think I measured 55 mile per hour winds or so down there in Brownsville. Katie, thank you for the update there. All right, got you, Ivy. Can you tell me whether this hit Falmouth, Kentucky? I have to lay down soon for work. Can you tell me a bigger city near you? If you guys can tell me a bigger city near you, I can do this a lot faster for you. If you know that you're kind of in a small city. Even when I search up Falmouth, Kentucky, it's not even showing up. Vanessa, thank you for your 100 stars. I appreciate your donation and your kindness. Thank you so much. Yes, Louisville's clear from the severe threat. Just kind of taking a look around here. I don't really see a whole lot down there. Someone asked about Bee Spring. Looks like about 45 to 50 mile per hour wind gust ongoing there. Hodgenville, that storm should be exiting your area here soon. The worst of it should be on the eastern side of Hodgenville right now, where it's 50 mile per hour wind gust ongoing. LaRue County, Greene County, it is there right now. LaRue County heading toward Greene County at this point. 50 mile per hour wind gust ongoing there, not quite severe. Mumfordville, if you have time to get back home, depends on how far you have to travel. It looks like it'll be there in about 15 to 20 minutes. So if you can get home within 15 to 20 minutes, you should be good to go. I'm going to measure this again. Still seeing 65 mile per hour winds or so. Down here for Bardstown, still seeing 60 mile per hour winds heading toward your location. Also seeing a nice 60 mile per hour wind burst now showing up east of Hodgenville, heading toward Raywick down there in south central Kentucky. So this might need to be going severe warned here very soon as well. Yes, it is past E-Town. How's Beachmont? Guys, can you guys please give me bigger cities that are near you so we can get to your locations faster? I'm seeing a lot of small towns that are going to take me a while to zoom in and find. So hopefully we can get some bigger cities that are near you guys so I can help you answer your questions a little bit faster. Raining sideways in Bardstown. Thank you for the update there. Appreciate you. Oh, Falmouth is north of Cynthiana? Okay. It's all the way up here. There you go. There's Falmouth. You got about an hour until it gets to you. I would say about an hour, hour and a half, perhaps, and it should be on a quite weakening trend by the time it gets to that location. What about Bowling Green? Strong thunderstorm about to enter your location here in about 15 to 25 minutes or so. It is not severe warned yet. Let's go ahead and take a look at the wind speeds down there. I'm not really seeing a whole lot. There's a little bit of rotation on the flank of it, but again, way too much rainfall for it to actually produce anything. Yeah. Did the taco thing? What?
Samuel.
Oh, here. Gotta go really in there.
He's sleeping right now like that. Just exactly how he's sleeping right now.
There you guys go. So unfortunately he's sleeping, so we can't bring him back on. But there's a picture for you to hold you over.
He's got a full belly. He's teething.
Oh, is he mad out there?
Yeah, but he's sleeping.
Well, that's cute. Oh, you're good. Thank you. Sure love to see that. Winds are picking up in BG. Thank you for the update there. Appreciate you. Do you see any rotations? I don't see any rotations that are noteworthy at all. There is a little bit of one down here just to the north of Louisburg. Not really noteworthy, though. Way too much rain around it. There's a little bit of one over here just to the west of Plum Springs, or just the northwest of Plum Springs. Not really noteworthy once again. And those are really the only two pockets. Thank you guys for all your sweet comments about Samuel, by the way. Someone asked about Casey County. You have about an hour until it gets to your location. Main threat being 50-mile-per-hour wind gust. Elizabeth, thank you for the update there. Appreciate you. Let's go ahead and check on the winds here in Nelson County. Nelson County still seeing that 60-mile-per-hour wind gust happening. Barstown, you still have about 55-mile-per-hour wind gust ongoing over you. Scanning. Up here toward Taylorsville, still seeing that 55 to maybe 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. Yeah, a couple 60s showing up there. Once again, up here toward Eminence as well, just north of LaGrange, 55 to 60-mile-per-hour wind gust there. Just to the south of New Haven, still seeing a nice 60-mile-per-hour wind gust down there as well. Elsewhere, going back over here toward Greenville, where they're still warning, not seeing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, but I am seeing a downburst of wind, so I understand the warning down there. That will head toward Quality Kentucky here very soon. Windy, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts for the next 20 minutes. Center Kentucky, Southwest, Greene County. Do that. It's a lot easier that way. About 45 minutes until it gets to your location. And once again, 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts being the main threat there. He's coming from Litchfield to Hodgenville through Eaton. How bad is it? It's coming from Litchfield to Hodgenville. If he could wait, 20, 25 more minutes, I would wait. In Litchfield, it should be fine, but he's driving right into the storms, and they're only moving at about a speed of 30 to 40 mile per hour. So it means he'll probably be able to catch up and just go right in through it. I would probably wait if he can, especially if he's a bit more of an inexperienced driver. Definitely want to wait that out. Yes, no real tornado threat really. Carly, thank you so much. Passing over Louisville soon. Louisville's all clear from the severe threat. I love that. See what Marissa did there? She said her city, but still gave me some bigger cities around it. Now I can go right to it in between Danville and Springfield. That's actually so helpful. Seriously, thank you guys so much. It makes it to where I can answer your questions a lot easier. It's not that I am lazy or anything, or I just can't. Let me look at this. There's 100 cities just on this one zoom in alone. It's impossible to remember every single city. So thank you guys for helping me out with that. About 45 minutes to an hour until it gets to your location. Main threat being 55-mile-per-hour winds or so when it gets there. Wind picking up in Hart County. Thank you so much for that update. Someone on YouTube was asking about Carlisle, Kentucky. Carlisle, you have about an hour and a half or so until it gets to your location. I think by that point, even though you're included in the severe watch, technically, I think that by that point, they should be quite a bit weaker. Still look out for some wind gusts, though. Here comes the thunder in T-ville. Thank you for that update there, Elizabeth. I understand what you're saying about the wanting the crazy strong storm. They're really awesome to listen to and look at. What's happening in Dunmore? Do I need to go to my basement? I don't think so. It's not severe, or it's severe warn, but it's not tornado warn. Also, looking at the velocities, I don't really see any type of rotation really down there. Let me go ahead and check on it one more time before I put my foot in the mouth. Yeah, I wouldn't. You don't have to go to your basement or anything. I would just stay inside. Of course, don't go out in it, but it's not life-threatening or anything that's going to harm you if you're not in your basement. Summersville, Kentucky, and Greene County, you're still looking at that risk for some strong thunderstorms, maybe up to 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts, but currently does not look severe. Thank you for that update out of BG. Ivy, welcome back. Again, BG is still not looking severe, by the way. I know we have a lot of BG folks in here, Bowling Green. Still not looking severe. Also, don't even really see all that much winds with it at the moment. I know, Ashley. I'm after this broadcast. I'm probably gonna take a nap. I'm about to crash. I am about to crash. Yeah, that's why I opened the window. By the way, just an update for you real quickly. I know a lot of you are wanting to look at this. A lot of you have been interested in the temperatures today. For obvious reason, it's been very, very warm out there. But here's your current temperatures. Look at the temperature chart here as the storms move through. They're just crashing the temperatures down. At Bowling Green, you're at 88 degrees, but just 25 miles to your northwest in Morgantown and Butler County, it is 73 degrees. So almost 20-degree difference there. I do want to point out though that in Union County, the temperatures are actually rebounding a little bit, almost back up to 80 degrees out there. So we're gonna have to actually keep an eye, just make sure. Now, right now, still as we're talking, still quite a massive cap over the environment out there. So I don't expect any more severe threat, but the temperatures are trying to rebound, which is a sign that the environment is trying to become more unstable once again. I just don't think it will have the time to get unstable. Let's go ahead and check back in on the velocities here once again here for you folks. Going up here for Bardstown to Bloomfield, let's take a peek in there. Bardstown still seeing solid 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts just to your north. And Bloomfield just to your north, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts all over the place up there between Mount Washington and Bloomfield, more specifically going to head just to the south of Taylorsville and then toward Mount Eden, Kentucky. So look out for some significant wind gust there, or so I shouldn't say significant, but strong wind gust there between Bardstown and Taylorsville on the east sides of those cities. Will there be more storms tomorrow? Well, let's go ahead and take a quick look at it. All right, let's go to the local view here. Take a real quick look into tomorrow real quickly. So here's tonight, gets out of the area. Now, again, I will remind you, like I've reminded you guys the last 3 or 4 days, models have been flat out terrible this week. They've been flat out terrible all summer. We really haven't used the models that much. We've been relying more on this and doing a whole lot of math and science and just constantly updating every hour or so. But just for perspective reasons for you guys, I'll show you the model data for tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, perhaps some spotty showers throughout the locations of northern, north central, northwestern Kentucky. Again, can't guarantee that at all because, again, the models have been pretty unreliable. Toward lunchtime, maybe some sparking of some storms out in eastern Kentucky. And then by the afternoon, another wave of storms, yes, to answer your question. But this one should be pretty focused on eastern Kentucky. Also, it will be lacking a lot of energy out there. So I don't expect a massive severe threat, but they could be strong once again to perhaps marginally severe. And then by your weekend, it's bye-bye, finally. So we'll say we have one more day of it, probably just in far eastern Kentucky, and then should be going into a pretty pleasant weekend. I'm not sure. I think you can just minimize the video. Like if you were to just switch, I don't know. Just got an ad on YouTube while watching you. I try to stop them all the time, but it won't let me. Here, here's the dashboard here for you. It won't let me. Like for example, I could turn off monetization and stuff, but then people can't donate. And I have it on the live ad settings for the ads. I have it on the conservative. There's no like off option. So I try to stop it every time it pops up here at the bottom, but sometimes I miss it if I'm talking or looking at the radar and stuff. So not unfortunately a whole lot I can do about it, but I can tell you they are minimized to the lowest setting possible. YouTube just forces ads sometimes. I don't know why. I don't like it because that's not my MO. Or else I would be putting ads all over Facebook as well. It's just not my MO. But I can't really help if that's how the site's built, unfortunately. All right. Over here in Bloomfield, whoa, getting a 71 mile per hour recording out there on the radar. 73 between Bloomfield and Taylorsville. Let's go ahead and double check that on radar scope here. Yeah, that's probably a little bit overdone by radar Omega. Yeah, I'm still seeing like 60s, maybe even 65, but definitely not 73. So a little bit overdone by radar Omega here, but still 60 to 65 mile per hour winds ongoing. Far eastern Nelson County, far eastern. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the box or the county here. Spencer County. Duh, thank you. Far eastern Spencer County, and that will actually head toward Lawrenceburg, Willisburg, and Springfield just after it exits those areas. Oh, Jennifer, there definitely shouldn't be. I try to stop them. It usually pops up every 10 minutes, and I'm able to look up and see and stop them before it happens. Um, but sometimes I just miss it if I'm looking at the radar or talking. Quandale, no, I think this is the main line today. I don't think we're talking about any type of storms behind this. I mean, there could be more storms behind this, but when it comes to severe threats, I don't think we're looking at that behind this. Let me clarify. Bowling Green is not severe, and there's no rotation, and there is barely any wind gust down there, to be honest with you. So not really looking at anything for Bowling Green right now. Again, main focus is up here between Taylorsville and Bloomfield, where the wind gusts keep actually continuing to tick up. Now, radar scope is showing an almost 70 mile per hour gust between Bloomfield and Taylorsville, Kentucky. So some nice wind gusts going on up there. Checking down here on the southern portion of the line, still not seeing a whole lot down here. Matter of fact, an outflow boundary is starting to show up. So these storms down here to the south will actually begin to weaken upon entering Bowling Green. Down here just to the west of that, I'm not really sure why the severe warning is still here, but nonetheless it's still there. It's not even in that location anymore. Anyway, Louisburg still seeing some nice downbursts of winds there, but not quite severe in that area either. So down there on the southern portion of the line, it's really starting to weaken. It's the northern portion of the line, central portion, I should say, that's still gaining some steam out there. See, like here, for example. See how it shows me ads will run shortly for some users? I hit skip ads every time, but sometimes I'll be watching the radar or talking, and sometimes I just miss it. So sorry about that, folks. I agree, Jennifer. I would prefer YouTube as well, if I'm honest with you. Yes, the high winds are exiting Bardstown at this time. Ashley, that will unfortunately change here in about 15 to 25 minutes. Ronnie, thank you for the update out of Hart County. I appreciate you. Bowling Green, again, not severe, but a strong thunderstorm is moving into your location. The severe threat is over for Bullitt County, yes. But the thunderstorm activity probably is not. But the severe threat is. And there they go. They finally canceled that warning. I was about to say it's definitely should not be up still. So the only warning right now is for eastern Spencer County and eastern Nelson County in central Kentucky. No other severe warnings exist, although there are still some strong thunderstorms across the entire line. Yeah, actually, I believe there's last time I checked, there were 9,000 people without power in Louisville. I haven't checked anywhere else just yet because Louisville's just easiest to see. You can literally click on one thing and it pops up. Here, I can look up the current power outages actually for you guys. I know sometimes you guys like to see that. So the current power outages looks like this: 2.3 million people in the state, 24,000 without power, mainly in Ohio County, McLean County, Spencer County, where they just saw that big wind burst of 70 mile per hour. So Spencer County probably takes a lead right now. Oldham County without some folks without power up there as well, and then down here in Russell County, this is probably from the other day, if I had to guess. But again, overall, not a whole lot of folks without power when you put it in perspective. But yeah, you can definitely see where the hardest hit areas have been by just looking at the power outage map, to be honest with you. Is it severe in Cave City? It is not. Sorry if you hear my dog. He's going outside and he loves to bark. I know it's a little out of where your focus is, but anything on your Warsaw, Kentucky, or no, you're still. We cover all of Kentucky. We just haven't talked about Northern Kentucky very much because it's been pretty quiet up there for the most part. Well, not quiet, I should say, but pretty tamed. What the world? I'm in full mode. I don't want to be in full screen mode. Here you go, Warsaw, Kentucky. Don't see any real concerning winds up there. Yeah, you're a little bit too far north, I think, of the main action. Now you'll definitely see some rain, hear some lightning, or see some lightning and hear some thunder. But I think you're too far north for any type of real severe threat. Severe warning, by the way, Nelson and Spencer County has been canceled or has expired, I should say. We may see a new one. I definitely think you could argue that there should be a new one because I'm still seeing really a lot of scattered spots of 60 mile per hour winds. Um, but right now in the state, there are no severe warnings in Kentucky in the state right now. This is the first time in 2 hours and 46 minutes that we have not had a severe warning. So definitely great feeling there. Although I'm still measuring 65 mile per hour winds, so you could definitely argue that there should be a warning still present. But sometimes with the radars, what they can do is just kind of scatter the wind all around. Really, it's not there. That's just a flaw of radars. So I can understand why there isn't, but I think there probably should be a warning, at least for the Lawrenceburg area. Lawrenceburg back out to Bloomfield and Willisburg. Probably could argue there should be a warning there. Nonetheless, 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gust ongoing. And there's the warning. High winds in Bowling Green. I think last time I measured there was 45 to 50 mile per hour. Not quite severe there just yet. Severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued for Spencer County, Shelby County, Nelson County, Mercer County, Woodford County, Scott County, Anderson County, Henry County, Central Jessamine County, Washington County, and Franklin County in central Kentucky until 6:45 p.m. Eastern Time. The storm is moving at a speed of 35 mile per hour to the east. Hazard is 60 mile per hour wind gust. So there's your warning there, folks. Let's go ahead and measure once again here. And you can see it's a pretty valid warning. Here you go, 60, almost 70 mile per hour wind showing up. Once again, the radar may be overdoing it a little bit. But 60 mile per hour wind gusts still showing up basically from Frankfort all the way down to Bardstown. So this is a pretty solid warning box if you ask me. 65 mile per hour there, some 70s showing up. But once again, the radar may be overdoing that a little bit. Still lots of lightning involved. So for you folks in Frankfort, Lawrenceburg, Willisburg, make sure that you're on the lookout. Brush Grove, up here. Why am I in full screen mode? Stop doing that. Up here in Bridgeport, up toward Flag Fork, Polesgrove. And then, of course, even some winds on the backside of this line toward Baghdad, Harrisonville, Mount Eden, Chaplin, Mooresville. Be on the heads up. Harrodsburg just after that. Versailles, Midway just after that. Some more wind gusts for the same areas that were hit yesterday in those same locations. Once again, I want to cover for you folks down here in Bowling Green that keep asking about it. Thank you for. Oh my gosh. Ooh. That was a very, very like that wasn't, it was loud, of course, but that shook the house. It probably shook the camera for you guys. Oh my gosh! And we're in Radcliffe, so we're here, way behind the line, way behind the line. Just to show you, there's a lot of lightning out there. Oh my god! Oh my gosh! That actually scared me. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. That actually scared me a little bit. Heart's a little racing there. Whew. Yeah, Ace, thank you again for that. I appreciate your tip there. By the way, for Bowling Green, again, not severe down there, but it is strong. It is loud. It does look scary. But I promise you, it is not severe. Yeah, that thunder and Radcliffe just rattled my house, so I'm sure you saw the camera shaking. Once again, we're here. The line's up here, so, I mean, that just tells you how far away you could feel lightning. That was a big one. Holy cow. I'm still trying to calm my heart down a little bit. That's why I'm holding it. That got me. I don't usually get scared by it. I'm pretty used to it at this point. But I think it got me off guard just because it's been pretty quiet here for a while. The line's, was all at 50 miles away, and I think it just caught me off guard more than anything. Wow. Those are just backside showers, Lynn. I don't think they have any chance to really be severe, mainly because this line really worked over the environment quite a bit. I got you, Misty. Hart County, not severe, but you do have a strong thunderstorm going through there right now. Georgetown, you're right on the outside of that severe box, but I could definitely see a scenario where it gets extended to you as the line gets closer. Be on the lookout here in about 30 minutes for a very, very strong wind gust that may enter your location. Again, still measuring quite a bit of winds out here. Still popping up with the 70s of the wind gust. Bloomfield still popping up with a 65 there. Up here toward Frankfort, still popping up with a 60 to 65 up there. So still some solid 60 to 65 mile per hour wind gust ongoing. Basically from Poles Grove to Frankfort to Lawrenceburg to Willisburg, and then back out to the west here in Chaplin, Mount Eden, Harrisonville, and Baghdad, Kentucky. Columbia and Adair County, you'd likely have a strong thunderstorm going on there right now, but it is not severe for your location. Zay, if this one holds together, by the time it gets to Lexington, you'll see some strong wind gust out there. Corinth, Kentucky, whoever was asking about that, you have about 35 minutes or so until it gets to your location. You're just a little bit north of the actual strongest part of the line, but still at play to see some strong wind gusts and some loud thunder here in about 30 to 40 minutes or so. Yes, it will weaken by the time it gets to Lawrence County, by the way, whoever was asking about that. Flow watch issue for Nelson County. Be careful driving through. I could definitely see, yeah, they definitely should be issuing that one because you've gotten a lot of rain the last couple of days in Nelson County. Winds have calmed down now, just moderate rain in Hart County. Ronnie, thank you for the update there. Appreciate that. Let's go and take a look around here once again. We are still seeing some solid wind gusts occurring. Once again, 62 to 70. It's still showing 73 mile an hour winds just to the west of Lawrenceburg. More specifically, let's go ahead and zoom in see if we can find a town near there. Glensboro, Wayside, Fox Creek down there. Now, again, 73 might be a little bit overdoing it by the radar, but definitely a solid 60 to 65 mile per hour wind gust ongoing in central Kentucky. Near Frankfort, just to the west of you, 62 mile per hour wind gusts going on there. Just to the south of Bloomfield, heading toward Willisburg, Kentucky, 65 mile per hour wind gust ongoing there. You could argue that there should be another severe warning down here just to the south of Lebanon, heading into Campbellsville. Looks like we're getting 60 mile per hour wind gust readings there. And for Springfield, it looks like a 60 mile per hour wind gust reading there as well. So you could argue there should be some more severe warnings out there. Not up to us. George, any shot that ballet Under the Stars in the park in Lexington is going to happen tonight beginning at 8 p.m.? I think so because the again, I don't think we're talking about an extended period of storms here. I think you're talking about this line. It gets through maybe some backside showers, and then you're fine. You talking about 2 hours from now? I think you should be just fine. Why are people weird? I got. I always get more weird people on YouTube than anything. Storming and Club Springs, Katie, thank you for the update there. Sounds like it's starting back up here in Radcliffe. Yeah, you just had a couple of really, and they're popping up on the radar now, but you just had a couple of lightning strikes. There's not really any storm activity out there. It's just you got some leftover lightning still trying to get its way down throughout the clouds there. Checking back in. Let's go ahead and go back down here toward that Bowling Green area. I know we have a lot of folks in here from good old BG down here. Let's go and check back in. Still not seeing anything remotely severe down there. Perhaps some 45-mile-per-hour wind gust ongoing for that location. But for you folks on there in Bowling Green or Russellville, where you're hearing some loud thunderstorms right now, maybe even Glasgow, they sound loud. They look very scary, but they're not severe. Nicole, thank you for the update. I appreciate that. Wind picked up fast in Owenton. Yeah, that's how it goes. It goes really fast. All of a sudden, it's just there. That's why we're talking about those gust fronts. Those gust fronts. That wind will hit you before the actual storm does. So sometimes with that situation, it catches a lot of folks off guard. Frankfort is entering your location right now. Once again, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, the main threat. Lawrenceburg, get about 5 to 10 minutes until it actually gets into your location. 65-mile-per-hour wind gust, the main threat there. Willisburg, got about 5 to 10 minutes till it enters your location. About 65-mile-per-hour wind gust being the main threat there, as well as Ballard, Kentucky. Up here toward Owenton, 50-mile-per-hour wind gust, the threat there. Got about 10 to 15 minutes till that line actually enters your location. Same thing for Monterey, just outside the main portion that's actually severe. For South Kentucky, you're in that severe thunderstorm warning, so be on the lookout for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts here in probably about 15 to 20 minutes in your location. Will it be moving towards Somerset? Eventually, yes, Somerset will be seeing this action in about an hour, hour and a half or so, but it should be in a weaker state by the time it gets to you. West speed in Bardstown. Previously, it was all the way up to 65 mile per hour near Bardstown. It should be on the weakening trend now. Yeah, that thunder was absolutely insane in Radcliffe about 5 minutes ago. It definitely caught me off guard, that's for sure. Some wind gusts here in Glasgow. Ashley, thank you for that update there. Appreciate you. I want to thank you guys again for all the likes and shares on Facebook, all the questions you guys have been asking, all the new subscribers and likes that we have on the video over there on the YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for your support. We appreciate you guys helping us grow a little bit. Thank you very much. Once again, still seeing a nice wall of 60 to 65-mile-per-hour winds stretching all the way from, let's call it Monterey, down toward Willisburg, Kentucky. Even down here, just the south, between Lebanon and Campbellsville, where it's not severe, still seeing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts there. You could definitely argue there should be a severe warning for that location, especially based off the reports that I've been getting. But again, it's not severe warning, so out of our hands there. Still some solid, even outside of the warning boxes. 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts up here toward Owenton, going toward Dry Ridge, Kentucky. And then over here from Russellville and Bowling Green to Glasgow to Campbellsville, where it's not technically severe warning, still some solid wind gusts going on down there as well. Lots of lightning still showing up with these bad boys, too. Wow, look at all the lightning that stretches all the way throughout that line. There's lots of lightning. Yeah, that's usually how it goes, Ivy. I swear. I swear. Sorry, I just got a random email trying to make sure everything's okay. These damn scam emails. Okay. Power's flickering in Barstown. Thank you for that update there out of Barstown. I appreciate that. Whitney, thank you for that update out of Glasgow. I appreciate you. Check back in on the winds once again here. That's the main threat, of course, so we're going to keep checking in on it. Still seeing 60-mile-per-hour winds, maybe even a little bit touch higher. Lawrenceburg heads up. You got about 5 minutes till it gets into your location. Ballard, you have the wind gust, the maximum wind gust coming into your location here very, very, very soon, momentarily, really. Brush Grove and Willisburg, there it is. There's the new update coming in now. Lawrenceburg, 55 to 65 mile per hour winds are in your location, as well as Ballard and Willisburg, Kentucky, going to Duncan and Mayo, Salvisa next. Frankfort, you have about 50 to 60 mile per hour winds going on up there. And again, that'll be heading toward Midway, Georgetown, Versailles, Mortonsville, and Harrodsburg next. You have about 10 to 15 minutes for those locations. So make sure you have any of your outdoor stuff that you don't want to lose or get messed up. Make sure you have that stuff secured. You have a little bit of a window to get that done. Again, if you are in Sadieville to Georgetown to Midway to Versailles toward Harrodsburg. Oh no, almost missed the ads. Oh my gosh, 4 seconds. Got it just in time. Yes, sir. You get those 50, 60 mile per hour winds along with those big, big summertime raindrops. They sound like they're coming down hard. Lewisburg, Kentucky, you're on the back side of that line. I don't see any severe risk for you. I think you're pretty much all clear from the severe risk. You're just hearing a lot of lightning out there. Paula, thank you for the update out of Willisburg. I appreciate you. Joshua, you're not kidding, my friend. You're not kidding. Let's go ahead and pull this down. I don't want to keep cutting off Northern Kentucky. There we go. Just kind of doing a look around, making sure we're not missing anything from latest data and stuff. Here's your newest scan of the meso analysis is coming through. You see those big blue blobs that are really entering Kentucky at this point. That shows you that there's a big cap over the environment. These storms are starting to weaken as a result of this, except for, of course, that one portion between Frankfort and Harrodsburg. But behind this, the reason we don't think there's any more severe threat behind this line is because of this big cap that we have over the environment. Here's your latest scan of the temperatures coming through now. You can see where those storms are going through. They're just tanking the temperatures down, trying to rebound a little bit on the western side up there toward Henderson County and Union County and northwestern Kentucky. But you can just see where the temperatures are really being tanked down there. Remember in Bowling Green, we keep coming back to this one. It was 92 degrees today. It's all the way down to 78 degrees now. So temperatures really, really coming down there. Carlene, we do have another storm risk tomorrow, unfortunately, but the weekend looks better. Frankfurt lost power at Kroger. Thank you for the update, Daniel. I think the storm risk for tomorrow, guys, it's probably a very marginal storm risk, and I think it's mainly over here in eastern Kentucky for the folks that have mainly missed out on the severe risk all week long. Places like Pikeville, London, Corbin, Moorhead. That's where the severe risk probably is tomorrow. And once again, I don't think it's anything incredible. Lost power in Lawrenceburg. I would not be surprised that those winds out there we've been measuring, they have been 60 to 70 mile per hour. Once again, let's go ahead and measure. Down here toward Willisburg, 70 mile per hour. Down here or up here toward Lawrenceburg, 70 mile per hour. Just to the south of Frankfort, we're looking at 57 mile per hour, 60. Just to the north of Frankfort, looking at 65 mile per hour. So this part of the line is really not wanting to give up. Up over here toward between Owensboro and Monterey, a little bit of rotation there. Not anything to really be concerned about, but could indicate a nice pickup of winds ongoing between those locations toward I-75. So I'm going to give a big alert out toward Georgetown, Lexington, Nicholasville. Those places are up next. Sadieville along I-75 and I-64 through there. Make sure that you're finding your nearest exits if you can. If you're hearing my voice and you're on the roadway, these are damaging wind gusts that are coming through that central portion of the state there. If you can, of course, stay indoors. Find your nearest exit. Do not get under an overpass. I don't know why people keep showing that in movies. But do not get under an overpass. You're just asking to get hit by a tunnel of winds through there. Just again, you have time if you're on I-75 and I-64 near Georgetown and Lexington and Sadieville. Just find you a safe spot or an exit and get off of the interstate out there. Once again, 60 to 70 mile per hour winds ongoing between Frankfort and Lawrenceburg, and then down toward Duncan, Harrisburg, Mortonsville, Versailles, Midway, Georgetown, Sadieville, you're up next, and then it will be Lexington, Nicholasville, up toward Cynthiana after that. Down here toward Bowling Green, once again, want to check in for our folks and friends down there. Bowling Green, Russellville, Glasgow, you're still seeing strong storm activity, but it is not severe, not seeing anything. So look at the difference in the winds, by the way. So here's your severe. And here's why we're talking about this not being severe. It's just not even close. It's not even close. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure it sounds rowdy, looks chaotic out there, but it's not severe, I promise you. No, Lisa, I think this is just kind of going as we expected. Remember, the severe watch is all the way over here already. So it's going pretty as expected so far. Matty Grace, thank you for the update out of Bowling Green. I appreciate that. What does it look like for Glasgow? I just covered that, so hopefully you caught that. What is the green velocity? Those are inbound winds versus outbound winds. So red and green on the opposite sides of the spectrum. You can look, should be a bar. Of course, I think the key is off the map right now, but here's your inbound winds. These are coming toward a radar beam being up here. And then outbound winds are the red. They're going away from the radar. I'm going to close out this other radar now that we don't really need it. Just using up resources for no reason. Yeah, still measuring a solid 60 to 65 mile per hour wind gust threat, stretching all the way from, let's call it Monterey, Kentucky, down toward Willisburg, and once again, Harrisburg up next, Georgetown up next, Midway and Versailles be in your location within the next 5 to 10 minutes. Sadieville, Lexington, and Nicholasville up after that. Yes, Americas. What radars do you use? This one is Radar Omega. We also use Radar Scope, and we also use WSV3. WSV3 is great for the graphics that we post onto like social media and stuff. This one's probably great for. This one's the best for broadcasting. And Radar Scope, which is this one, is best for like technical use, where you're trying to see a little bit more technically. It's just not as refined. Becca, I would obviously give it a little bit until this strong thunderstorm moves out of the area. I wouldn't drive through this. I don't see this being a dangerous storm. They kind of use that wording sometimes just to use it. Not sure why, but this is not a dangerous storm in my opinion. Is it a strong thunderstorm? Yes, but it's not even severe, so I wouldn't even call it dangerous. Yes, the blind moving their BG right now is it's not weakening, but it's also not strengthening, and it's also not severe. The difference between severe and strong is severe is usually storms that can produce damages or they can cause injuries or life-threatening scenarios. Um, Severe basically is, of course, the worst one. Strong is, yes, it sounds bad, it looks scary, but it's not life-threatening. It's not going to cause several damages. Um, and it kind of looks and sounds a lot worse than what it actually is. Severe means it's actually dangerous. Speaking of severe, we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has gone up here. Finally, I've been kind of asking for this. This is the part of the area that we've been measuring, at 60 mile per hour winds. This is where Lincoln, Mercer, Marion, Taylor, Washington, Boyle, and Casey County in central Kentucky. It says for 60 mile per hour wind gust and is moving east at 30 mile per hour. Again, this is for Liberty to Danville to Perryville. So now this entire part of this line, basically from Monterey, Kentucky, all the way down to Liberty, Kentucky, now severe warned for 60 mile per hour wind gusts. And you can definitely see that's been the case here for a while. This is all this yellow is 60 mile per hour or higher. And once again, this is moving now into the Harrisburg area, Lawrenceburg, Midway, Versailles, Mortonsville. Just next up after that would be Sadieville, Georgetown, Lexington, Nicholasville, Harrisburg, Danville, Houstonville, Middleburg, Liberty, Addison, Jacktown, and Perryville, Kentucky. So again, a nice wall of winds of up to 65 mile per hour are possible in those locations. What's the blue block around Bowling Green? That is a cap on the environment, which is why the storms are not being able to go severe. Wow, April, that sounds terrible. Broad rotation just basically means that a storm is trying to rotate above the surface. A lot of folks like to use that just to describe how the winds are moving. Does not necessarily mean that anything tornadic is coming or anything immediate is happening. It just kind of means that a storm is rotating a little bit above the surface, which is pretty normal in these types of scenarios. But rotating above the surface and at the surface are two completely different things. Thank you, Conform. America, so I wouldn't say the storms are over because you still might have a couple backside showers move through, but the severe threat is over. What's the wind like for Glasgow? Last time I measured it, it's at about 40 mile per hour or so. What is a mile per hour about to hit Versailles? It's about 65 mile per hour. Last time I checked. Let me go ahead and check it again for you real quickly. Yeah, still 60 to 65 mile per hour heading toward that Versailles location and Mortonsville. Looks like this northern side is starting to calm down a little bit now, thankfully. What about Georgetown, Kentucky? You have a strong to severe level thunderstorm moving toward your location. Expect some high wind gusts up to 50 to 60 mile per hour and some heavy rainfall to enter your location here in about 10 minutes or so in Georgetown. Danville, Kentucky, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning for 60 mile per hour wind gusts, and that lasts for another 33 minutes. It'll be in your location here in about 20 minutes. Yeah, that's very, 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 very broad rotation. I almost hate using the word broad rotation. It's just kind of not a scare factor, but just like it doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't. It's just a way to describe how winds are moving. But a lot of folks take that, they hear rotation, and they immediately think tornadoes. But it's very, very, very broad, and quite frankly, it's not really doing anything down there. There is like it's there obviously, but usually if you're looking for rotation for anything that indicates more of a severe threat, usually it's on this front side, and usually it's in a nice tight circle. It's not all the way back here. This probably just indicates heavier rainfall, if anything, in Bowling Green. I do want to keep an eye on this cell all the way out here, though. It's now this cell is this might turn into a rogue supercell. The reason I say that is because this is in an environment that really has not had storm activity today. On top of that, behind this line, there's a little bit better wind shear. So this one could go severe and be all by itself. So we'll have to keep an eye on this one. So Crofton, it's not severe warned yet, but Crofton and maybe even Hopkinsville, just kind of keep a close eye here with us. Jacqueline, maybe like 1%, if that. It's not there. Guys, the tornado threat's just not there today. I mean, it's at about a 2% according to the SPC, but that's extremely low. Yeah, they probably have extended this. It just hasn't shown up yet. Actually, you've been in this morning for a while. Greenville, Kentucky, your severe threat's pretty much over. Sorry, guys, if I don't sound like I have as much energy anymore. We're going on hour number 4 here. Um, it's been a long 4 days, too, so I'm trying to truck through it with you guys, but the energy is just not there for the voice anymore. It's about to go bye-bye. No, I mean, it's already knocking on your door, Nicholasville, and it's still going quite strong, so I don't think you have the time for it to... I don't think there's enough time to expect it to weaken. I mean, it'll literally be there in 15 to 20 minutes. Bowling Green, Kentucky, not severe. It doesn't look like it's going to be severe, and it should be out of your area here very soon. Yes, Francis, the heaviest has passed Frankfort in my eyes at this point, just to the east. Wind speeds for Bowling Green are about 45 mile per hour right now. Here's the weather statement for it. Shows it at wind 50 to 55 mile per hour, but that was 30 minutes ago or so. And again, right now they are weakening down there. So let's go ahead and measure it for you real quickly so we can ease your minds. Here we go. I see a 45 mile per hour in the highest zone right there. So again, 45 to maybe 50 mile per hour, but you're still missing quite a bit for that to be severe warning. We do have another severe warning that has just been issued up here for the Lexington area going toward Winchester, Nicholasville, and Richmond, Kentucky, all for 60 mile per hour wind gust out there. That goes for the next 45 minutes. So basically from Lawrenceburg to Winchester to Richmond to Harrodsburg and everywhere in between, you are now under a severe warning. The north side of the line or the north side of the warning box is probably going to be shaved off. I don't think they extend this portion. This is probably going to be a special weather statement for Georgetown, Sadieville, Cynthiana, and Paris, Kentucky for 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gust up there. And then down here, once again, of course, from Danville to Perryville to Liberty to Campbellsville, but not including Campbellsville, another 60 mile per hour wind threat there. Yes, it will be severe in Nicholasville. Yes, you do have a severe thunderstorm warning in Richmond. How severe for Georgetown? It's not severe for Georgetown, and they have not extended the warning just yet. So looks like it's going to be a strong thunderstorm, but not severe, although it could go severe here very soon. I think you could argue it probably needs to be a severe warning. At this point, you're kind of just splitting hairs, guys. They're all borderline severe storms. Really, they are. Whether there's a warning box there or not, they're all borderline severe storms. So generally, all of you are looking at 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gust threats. Anything about Bowling Green just got on. Bowling Green, not a severe storm, just strong. 50 mile per hour wind gusts, the main threat there. It should be exiting your area within the next 15 minutes. I'm going to have nightmares about Bowling Green. Corbin, Kentucky, you're all the way in the southeast there. I think this will die down dramatically by the time it gets to you in here in about 2 hours. But you still will feel strong thunderstorm activity. You're welcome, Rachel. Rachel, you just came in at a bad time. We just got like maybe 15 questions about Bowling Green, maybe 3 minutes before you got on. That's why I said I was going to have nightmares about Bowling Green. I mean that in no negative way, guys. It's just been said a lot. Thank you, Mapper. Why? What did BG do? Oh, nothing. I was just making a joke. I was making a joke. I'm going back through the comments now to just every other comment. BG, 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 BG. So I'm just saying I was having a nightmare from how much I've seen it. Nothing bad. Nothing bad. Let's go ahead and check back in on BG again since that seems to be a popular topic right now. For Bowling Green, it's still just a strong thunderstorm and it is exiting your area. It just sounds worse than what it actually is. 45 mile per hour wind gusts were the measurement that we measured just a few minutes ago. That will be heading toward Franklin and Scottsville and Fountain Run, Tompkinsville here very, very soon. Main action is still up here for North Central, or for Central heading into Eastern Kentucky. No, nothing's wrong with BG. I love it you guys are in here and so active. It's just you happen to come in at a bad time. There was 10 minutes there and it was nothing but Bowling Green. That's all. It's just a funny little joke. Someone asked about Burkesville, Kentucky. You're all the way down to the southeast here. You're technically included in that watch, but I think you're more so just looking at a strong thunderstorm chance here in about an hour. Wind gust in Harrisburg, last time I measured it was about 60 to 65 mile per hour. Let's go ahead and check on it once again for you. Just to the west of Harrisburg, it's still at 60 mile per hour. Just to the north of Harrisburg, it's at 65 mile per hour. Highest wind gust looks to be between Lawrenceburg and Harrisburg, heading toward Nicholasville and Lexington, Kentucky. I will refresh the dashboard here. Remind me to um never mind. No, there's no rotation of Bowling Green. As you can see here, there is some very, very broad rotation, but it just indicates heavier rain. It does not indicate anything tornadic or severe. Ricky, thank you for that update there. It looks like it's a non-severe but very strong thunderstorm. Wait a second. Yeah, that does not include you. Non-severe but very strong thunderstorm in Greene County. Radcliffe, your severe threat is over. Caitlin, thank you for tuning in, for trusting us during your baseball game. Yeah, after this line passes you, see they just canceled the severe thunderstorm watch. So after this line passes you, let me go back to the other reflectivity. After this line passes you, it's pretty much it. Pretty much it. So the only threats are really here right now. Everything behind this line, this way, is clear. Now, again, you still might see some rain showers, even some thunder showers, but the severe threat is over. Thank you, Lisa, for your update. There's some rotation near Madisonville. Someone said there's rotation over here near Madisonville. Let's go here to this radar. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. I wouldn't really call that anything significant, though. Again, it looks like more of a downburst of winds, not necessarily rotation. Can it become rotation at one point? It could, because this one is alone. The difference is there's a little bit of rotation here in Bowling Green, right? A little bit of rotation here near Dawson Springs and Madisonville, right? The difference is Bowling Green 1 has a lot of rain around it. It's not going to become anything, I promise you guys. This one here near Dawson Springs and Madisonville, nothing else around it. This one could become a rotating supercell. But the problem with this one in Dawson Springs is if you look on the left side of your screen, you see a big outflow boundary right here. That is going to help to stop this from becoming anything. Again, the threat there, in my opinion, is just not there. For Paris, Kentucky, I believe last time I measured that up there, you're probably having this part of the storm come toward you, so it's about a 50 to 55 mile per hour gust. Someone asked about Russell Springs. That's a strong part of that line coming toward you. About 50 mile per hour wind gust heading toward your location here in about 20 to 30 minutes. That is not severe, though. Yeah, you can definitely still have 60 mile per hour wind gusts as the main threat in Lexington. It should be in your location within the next 10 minutes or so. Sorry, just messaging the team real quick. How bad will it be in Georgetown? Well, they have not extended that warning yet, so it leads me to believe that that part of the line is weakening a bit. I'm going to switch radars, by the way, to over here. But we're still seeing some solid 55 mile per hour gust or so near that Georgetown area, about to enter that location. I have no idea somewhere where Monroe, Tennessee is. We don't really cover Tennessee at all. So I really could not tell you. Also, I believe Tennessee's a little bit too far south for the main action. Jiminy crickets. Check back down on Bowling Green in that area in southern Kentucky real quickly. Still not seeing any rotation. Still not seeing any significant wind gust. Looks like there is quite a bit of lightning down there. And let's go ahead and measure the wind gust or wind speeds for you. Looks like 38 to 40 mile per hour. So that part of the line is continuing to weaken down there for southern Kentucky. Still having some very random lightning out here in Hardin County. I can hear it outside. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, it looks like they're going with a special weather statement for that area. Still looking at 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts there. The main bulk of the winds absolutely is between Lexington and Liberty, Kentucky, to include places like Danville, Perryville, Lancaster, Stanford, and Harrodsburg. Next up after that would be Winchester, Richmond, Berea, and Broadhead, Kentucky, if these winds can continue to hold on. No hail, really. I mean, there is some very small hail, but it's most likely melting by the time it hits the ground. Ranger, thank you for the update out of Mercer County. I appreciate that. Thank you guys again for all the shares and likes on the broadcast, both on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you guys for helping us spread our information. We appreciate you. Oh yeah, the wind is definitely loud today. The wind is definitely loud today. Whoever said that on YouTube. Entering Danville now. Yep, absolutely. That wall is entering Danville. Probably will get even stronger here in about 5 to 7 minutes or so. Greg, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Carlisle used to have about an hour until it gets to your location, maybe about 45 minutes or so until the actual main line gets there. Should be on the weakening trend by then, especially for that location. You're a little bit north of the main action, but we'll keep an eye on it for you. Stacy, thank you for the update out of Warsaw. Lots of lightning with these guys. Remember, they're going to be very, 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 very loud. I think I spot an outflow boundary right here. Absolutely. So this indicates that the storms will begin to weaken. Over the next 20 to 30 minutes, we'll see the storm line begin to weaken, which is right on the edge of the severe watch, which means that was almost a perfect watch by the SPC. We got to give them credit for that. But it looks like that outflow boundary will spark. What that will do is cause these to cold pool, which basically means to make very big rain showers and allow these to continue to weaken. Right. I'm still looking at the Lexington to Danville area as being the area where the highest amount of wind speeds are. Let's go ahead and switch radars here. I think it's time to switch the radars. Looks like they are starting to weaken quite a bit, thankfully, because I didn't want to see 60 to 70 mile per hour winds go through Lexington. That's never a good outcome when that much wind speed goes through a location. By the way, another severe thunderstorm warning has just gone active. This does include Lancaster, Berea, Stanford, Kentucky for those areas out there. It's just an expansion or extension of this one here. So looks like this is probably our last gasp right here between Lexington down to Liberty, Kentucky. Probably your last gasp of warnings here if it goes as planned. Glasgow and Columbia are both seeing strong thunderstorms, but they're not severe warned. They're not even special weather statement warned anymore. So those are also weakening down there. They just sound very bad, but they're not dangerous, I promise you. Probably lots of rainfall and lots of lightning, so I'm sure it sounds very loud out there. Yeah, we always knew that when these storms got to about this location here, they would probably weaken because once again, the better energy is back out here. All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quickly. It's been a while since I've gone to the bathroom. I'm gonna head up the bathroom real quickly. Again, give me a few moments here. I'm also gonna check on the baby and stuff, whatnot. Make sure everything's still going okay out there. I will go ahead and put this into motion for you so you guys can see it. I will be right back momentarily. Alrighty. Bowling Green's fine. They're all clear from the severe threat. Glasgow, you're non-severe as well, and almost all clear from the severe threat. Yep, it is entering Lexington now. Let's go ahead and check back in on the velocities here. Starting to slow down on the wind gusts, it looks like, thankfully. We're starting to see 60s and mid 50s, and looks like we have a 60 right there, maybe a 62. A lot different than the 70s we were seeing about 15 to 20 minutes ago. So it looks like the wind gusts are starting to die down now out here in central Kentucky. Which, again, when we started this broadcast back, almost 4 hours ago, and on the forecasting and whatnot, we told you guys that they would start to die down right here. Matter of fact, here's our forecast. And here's our forecast from today. The worst of it was definitely in that black circled area, so that panned out really well. Almost nothing or almost no severe warnings in the green area so far. Um, and then here's where we expected it to die down. So far everything's pretty much on forecast as we expected here. 4 to 10 p.m. Eastern time. Probably a little broad on the timing there, but we didn't know if there would be a backside that developed. That's why we made it all the way till 10. But so far, so good on the forecast here. So for those of you that were asking about, hey, is this going as planned, or hey, is this going in stronger? The answer is no. It's kind of going exactly as we thought. Pretty good preparation done by the entire team there. Um, Still got some 60-mile-per-hour wind gust ongoing between Lexington and Danville right now, but obviously, as you're seeing, the wind gusts are starting to die down a little bit. Down here for you folks in Franklin, to Columbia, to Russell Springs, to Jamestown, to Albany, Tompkinsville, Fountain Run. Not severe down there. Don't expect it to turn severe, but it is strong. It does sound loud outside, I'm sure, and it is very, very heavy. They did put out a new severe thunderstorm watch out here, but I just don't agree with that. I just flat out don't agree with it. Um, Here comes the new severe thunderstorm watches from Pikeville. It pretty much includes all of eastern Kentucky now. Just don't see that panning out, in my opinion. Can we get a couple more severe warnings? Yeah. But I just don't see that panning out very much, quite honestly, with you. Wow, they actually made that warning all the way. It hasn't popped up yet. It will soon. But they put that warning all the way into West Virginia as well, to include all the way out here to Charleston. Wow. Wow. That is a big watch box. Yeah, Edmonton, Kentucky, definitely seen a strong thunderstorm out there, but it is not severe. Don't expect it to turn severe. Yeah, there's the watch outs for Somerset and places to the east. Yeah, I could definitely agree with it probably going one more row. I don't know about this all the way out here. I don't see a severe threat out there. Could you get a severe warning or two? Yes, but only having one or two severe warnings does not warrant a severe thunderstorm. It just does not warrant a watch. Usually, when you have a watch come out, you expect there to be numerous warnings. I do not expect there to be numerous warnings with this activity as it pushes east here because we're already seeing the outflow boundary begin to pop up, right? So usually that indicates 9 times out of 10 that this line is weakening, which is what we're seeing. We are seeing this line weakening. It's evidenced by the wind gust chart that we were reading, right? Because remember, 15 to 20 minutes ago, back out here toward, let's say, Harrisburg and Lawrenceburg, there were 70 to 60 to 70 mile per hour winds out there. Now we're measuring mid 50s to low 60s. So you can tell it is weakening. So I'm kind of surprised to see, and there comes the watch kind of filling in now. I'm kind of surprised to see that go that far east. Really, I am. I bet you they're kind of just playing it safe because these two little notches here in the line just continue to be very, very, very windy. Just continue to be very, very, very windy. Um, but again, we do see signs of it weakening, so I am a bit surprised to see that watch get extended all the way out there. I am a bit surprised. What's the tiny green dots in Tennessee? These are all just cameras and stuff. Yeah, BG's in the clear. Between Frankfort and Lexington, I'm not sure what you're talking about. You're talking about this right here? These are all 50 to 60 mile per hour wind colors. Thank you for that report out of Lexington on YouTube. Sorry, just talk with the chat real quick. Or the team, I should say. Next to 0%, Alex. That's correct, Kimberly. We're still measuring about 50 to 60 mile per hour winds out there. Let's go ahead and measure around once again here, get a new update here for Danville. Looking at, that's probably the highest winds are right now. Measuring about 65 mile per hour entering the Danville area. So heads up, Danville, some strong winds coming toward you. And then out here for the Lexington area, starting to measure once again, starting to pick back up 65 mile per hour wind gusts, the main threat there between Nicholasville and Lexington. 64 mile per hour just north of that. So still some decent winds ongoing out here in eastern Kentucky now. But again, between Lexington and Danville, the main pockets. Out here is just radar scutter, so we're not really going to pay attention to all that. Really what we're looking for is inside of this little gap right here. Really what we're looking for is inside of that right now. That's the radar zone, that big circle you see. That's the radar zone there. So we look inside of that. So don't pay attention to anything that's behind this. Basically what I'm saying. Mount Sterling, you probably have, let's go ahead and take a look at the actual reflectivity. You probably have about 25 to 30 minutes till it gets to your location from the actual line. Some rotation in Georgetown? Not really. Not really. I don't really see anything there at the moment. Plus, the line's kind of already past it, so I'm not really seeing a whole lot of anything there, really. Again, down here for you folks down in Columbia, Glasgow, Franklin, going to the south portion of the state toward Monticello and the Tennessee border. Again, not severe out there, just strong and very loud. That's not the one I wanted. There we go. What in the world was that? What was that noise? Oh, Amelia became a subscriber on Facebook. Thank you so much for showing that extra level of support. Welcome to the subscriber group. Thank you so much. We very rarely get subscribers on Facebook, so I don't ever remember that noise. Thank you for that, though. I appreciate you. Wind's just now hitting Paris a bit. Thank you for that update there. We appreciate you. Again, if you're just now tuning in here with us, the SPC did extend the severe thunderstorm watch all the way out into West Virginia for the next 5 hours out there, mainly for this portion of the line and then a couple of the cold cells that are popping up in front of it. Because what's happening is what we saw earlier. So remember when we first hopped on the broadcast almost 4 hours ago, the line was back here, and it shoved a gusty flow line out front of it, almost creating a mini cold front. And then some cells were able to spawn on that line, and that actually is what created this line all the way out here. We can see that starting to happen again. The winds are becoming so strong that they're actually shoving cold air all the way out in front of it, and is creating a line of storms on the front side. Eventually, this line will move a little bit slower. This line will move a little bit faster. They will catch each other, undergo a weakening process, probably somewhere in here, and then re-strengthen a bit all the way out here toward the Pikeville area, and maybe produce a wind threat out there a little bit as well. So kind of the same thing we saw 4 hours ago, almost repeating itself just now. Mike, sorry to hear that, brother. Sorry to hear that. Must have some weak power lines out there. Mulgreen needs to get their power lines fixed up out there for you. Sky's dark and wind picking up in Waynesburg. Thank you for the update out of Waynesburg, Lashana. Amelia, thank you so much for your support, and I wish all the best for your grandmother, or for your mother. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Did they extend the warning in Harrodsburg? They didn't extend it, but they obviously they made a new one for the places to the east. In Harrodsburg, your severe threat is over. Go ahead and measure through here once again. Over here toward Danville, still seeing a spike there, probably 60-mile-per-hour winds. That is correct. Danville, 60-mile-per-hour winds just to your north there. And Nicholasville, I hate when it updates while I'm scanning. That just scares me every time. And in Nicholasville, we're still seeing that 60-mile-per-hour gust ongoing out there. Radar's trying to show 70. It's probably overdoing it a little bit. Probably still closer to 60 mile per hour. Just to the east of Nicholasville, just to the south of Lexington Metro. Still seeing some 60-mile-per-hour gusts there. Winchester, Richmond, heads up. You have about 10 minutes until this enters to your location. If you want anything secured outside, now's probably the time to do it, or else it's going to be a little bit too late. Richmond, you probably have about 15 minutes. Winchester, you probably have about 5 to 10 minutes. Down here for Lancaster, Stanford, heads up. Your highest wind threat of the day enters in here in about 5 to 10 minutes. Crab Orchard, you probably have about 15 minutes out there. Down here, once again, for Russell Springs to Burkesville to Tompkinsville to Fountain Run to Scottsville, this line has remained non-severe, and the reason for that, once again, was the cap that we saw over the environment that we showed you a few minutes ago. So these should remain non-severe. They're probably very loud and very heavy rainfall. Might sound and look a little bit scarier than what they actually are, but they are non-severe down there. So again, the main focus right now is absolutely between Lexington to Danville and then down to Liberty, and then points to your east like Stanford, Lancaster, Richmond, Berea, Broadhead, Mount Vernon, and Winchester, Kentucky. So we're going to focus a little bit more in on here. How many waves is there? This is pretty much the only one. Lashana, thank you. Caleb, you're under a severe warning for the next, I think it's for another 20 minutes out there, 14 minutes. But I will say that line is pretty much past you at this point. Probably about 10 to 15 more minutes, and then Lexington should be all clear from the severe threat. By the way, I want to make sure I reiterate when I say all clear. I do not mean all clear from every little thing like rain and casual thunderstorms. I mean all clear from the severe threat. Yes, Brandon, I do believe there's a severe thunderstorm watch out there, but I don't think that's warranted in my eyes. These are pretty much running off of Cape only, and by the time that the sun drops here in about an hour, hour and a half or so, that Cape's going to run right down. So I don't think by the time this gets to, like, let's say Moorhead, Jackson, Hazard, I don't think past that we're looking at a severe threat. Someone asked about Bath County. You have about 45 minutes to an hour until it hits your location, and you are at risk for severe weather. Main risk being a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust or so. Taylor, I have not seen any reports or confirmations of a tornado in Valley Station. There were some solid wind gusts, but those were straight line winds based upon the radar that I was seeing. I also measured 60 to 65 mile per hour winds in Valley Station back when it hit your location. But once again, I did not see any rotation or a tornado, and I have not seen any reports or confirmations from an official source so far. Mapper, thank you. And that's for the southern portion of your county. That's for like literally the most southern portion of Warren County possible. Highway 240 points south going in toward Butlersville. Yeah, Audrey, you had a nice wind gust of up to 65 mile per hour that came through there, unfortunately, a little bit ago. So sorry to hear that, but it sounds about right from what I was seeing on the radar, unfortunately. Hamilton, thank you for that report out of Cynthia. I appreciate that. Still seeing some scattered 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts all throughout the warning boxes from Winchester to Richmond and Nicholasville to Lexington, and then back down here for Lancaster, Danville to Stanford. Outside of that, still not seeing a whole lot. Let's go ahead and switch radars down here just to make sure that we're still looking at the southern portion correctly. Yeah, still not seeing a whole lot at all. Really, maybe 30 to 45, maybe 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts occurring down there as you head toward the Tennessee border, but not seeing anything, more than that at this point. Laramie, thank you so much. I appreciate that. The main wind gusts are already past you. Yeah, Taylor, I will look into that for you here in a little bit. Again, just from what I've seen, I haven't seen any official reports of that. Now, I have seen some damage reports, but everything that I've seen from picture wise, I don't see any twisting of anything. You can have stuff lifted from straight line wind gusts. You guys have to remember that as well. Just like when you have a fan blow, right? If you have a fan blow outside and you have a pile of leaves right there, that fan's going to make it look like it's lifting, even though it's straight line or it's just straight winds, right? What you're looking for when you're assessing the possibility for a tornado is anything that got twisted or any type of ground marks that are twisting in the ground. I didn't see anything like that whenever I got pictures from family and friends that came out of Valley Station. But I did see evidence of straight line wind damage. But if there is a report of that, I'll make sure I post that for you. Thank you for another 3,000 stars. Wow. Charisse with another 3,000. That's 6,000 stars from Charisse today. Thank you so much for that amazing level of support. I appreciate you a ton. Wow. Thank you so much for that. That's crazy. Thank you for that. That's 6,000 stars from her today. She says, let's start another star party. I appreciate that. She says, you put so much time into this. Thank you. Yeah, I'm about done, though. I'm about done, though, guys, because honestly, my voice has maybe about another 10 minutes, and then it's just done. And then at that point, I'll just be sitting here staring at you. Um, but my voice has maybe about another 10 minutes and then it's done. Because I know you probably can't tell, but I'm using every ounce of effort to push up my voice right now. It's just gone. It's just gone. But thank you, Sharice, for the 6,000 stars today. I appreciate that a ton. I appreciate that a ton. You can see all these little popcorn cells starting to pop up in front of this line out here. Again, this indicates that there's a new boundary being laid. It should help to weaken this line of storms continuously over the next 30 to 45 minutes or so. Yeah, I already have the outage map up. I've been tracking it. Mike, let's go ahead and refresh it for you. I see that there are 900 people without power in Warren County. 1,200. 1,200 from that source that you were asking about, Mike. The bulk of the power outages is still all the way up in Spencer County. Almost 10,000 people without power up there. Crazy dark and crazy windy out here real fast in Millersburg. Thank you for the update, Katie. I appreciate that. Once again, let's go ahead and measure our wind gust speed here right now on our velocity chart. Let's pull our little measurement tool and kind of take a look at what's going on around here. Richmond, looks like you have a nice 60 mile per hour gust there. 57 or 61 out there just to the west of that. Lexington, just to the south of Lexington, looks like about 60 mile per hour there. Winchester, let's go ahead and look over there real quickly. 59.5. Lancaster is to where the highest wind gust is recorded right now, just to the east of Lancaster at 63.9 mile per hour out there. So it looks like the wind gusts are starting to tick down a little bit. Remember, we were measuring almost 75 mile per hour back out for Harrisburg to Frankfort and that portion of Kentucky. It looks like they're starting to die down a little bit, maybe being influenced by that outflow boundary that we mentioned a few moments ago. Yeah, Lindsay, these storms are loud today. Loud, very, very loud storms today. Guys, I think that's gonna be it for me though. I can't. I will keep posting radar updates and on Twitter and on Facebook. So if you haven't already, if you're on YouTube, make sure you follow us on either on Twitter or on Facebook. You can just search Weather Now dash Kentucky, and we will show up. But the voice is just it's going. It's going. We have been broadcasting for 4 days straight. For I think all those days we've gone for at least 4 hours at different points. My voice is just toast. My voice is just toast. My throat and my chest are killing me. Um, and we still got to save some voice for tomorrow because we do have another storm threat tomorrow as well. Which after this is over tonight, we'll post an update for you regarding that. I do think the wind threat continues on until about the Moorhead, Jackson, Kentucky area, and that's when it will start to die down. Again, I will post radar updates on Facebook and Twitter every about 30 to 40 minutes or so. Um, Yeah, but that's got to be it for me, guys. I'm trying to push through it for you all, but my throat, my chest are just done. They're just done. Um, can I check the special weather statement for Scottsville? Yes, I will do that for you real quickly. Still looking at about wind gusts of 50 to 55 mile per hour, but I can tell you on radar, I've been measuring there, it's been about 45 mile per hour. Once again, the main action is going to continue out through here. I think we're looking from anywhere. Let's make a better line here. Cynthiana toward Moorhead, West Liberty, Jackson, Berea, Irvine, Richmond. Although I'm getting off the broadcast, I want you guys to know 60 mile per hour wind gusts are the main threat there for that locations inside that white box or whatever you want to call that. 60 mile per hour wind gusts are the main threat. Very heavy rainfalls continue. If this line has already passed you, I promise you are all clear from the severe threat tonight. Bowling Green for the last time. Nothing gets severe there. You are all clear. No severe threat in Bowling Green. Let's see here. What else have I? I think I got everything. I can't anymore. But I will post updates for you guys. So just make sure you turn on notifications, okay? Until next time, I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with Weather Now Kentucky. Stay safe.